Ready? Just when they, I'll tell you when
we're gonna let people jump on first.
So is it already on now for me to share? Or no?
You are live right now.
Okay.
You are live.
They usually know
so
that it's
time to
people will be waiting.
Time to share.
Time to get myself ready is over. Oh, here it is. But I still see. No, I'm still seeing you and Scott. That's an old
that's the old show. Actually,
show.
you know what? I need to unpin that from the top. So.
Oh, good.
You guys have 17 people on.
Oh, wow.
Hello, everybody.
There I am.
We already got some people.
Oh gosh, I don't look thin at all.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
Wait.
375,000 people are already logged in.
No.
Stop. Oh, that was scary.
So
Okay, so.
Lindsay says hello.
Hello.
Okay, watch. See.
Okay.
You're gonna go.
Share now. Got it.
You get it?
Okay, I look too fat. We're gonna cancel the show. I'm
No,
sorry.
we're not canceling the show.
Somebody already said, where's Scott?
Scott is behind. I am Scott. I gained a little bit of weight and got shorter.
Yep, where's Scott? Thank you, Julie. Somebody missed me.
He's here. He's gonna come around the camera in a minute.
Yeah, you guys are already at 84 and it's climbing. So.
Okay, we're gonna give people just a minute to catch on. Remember, as always, if you could share the show with your friends, because we don't know who hasn't seen our fun little show. And then this week is like extra special because we've been talking about having a special guest for like how long now? Now we got one, but we're
nice hat,
like,
Panda. Shane just said nice hat.
Hey Shane, I will take all the credit for any extra shares that you give. So just share it out, and I'll make believe it was my poll.
Yes, so share away. This is a good thing. And we have a really good show for you guys. I'm really excited.
Really big show.
It's a really big show.
Elvis is on the show.
Can you tell it's a Halloween episode?
And we're talking about Halloween and witches and ghosts.
Oh, that's so dumb. People are like, why are they doing Halloween merchandise? They're not here now, but I was like, no, why are they doing
I
Christmas
hear Scott.
merchandise?
Yes, you do, Scarlett.
They
I'm
should
back
be doing
here.
Halloween. I'm like, well, because Christmas comes. Oh, yes, never mind.
Yes.
See, people are jumping off. They're like, no, Scott, I'm leaving.
Oh my gosh.
And they're saying no computers, laugh out loud.
No, you know what? We're doing a different format tonight, you guys. I know.
Hi, Atwoods. He's not an Atwood.
It's an improved format. There is no Scott. Scott has
been replaced.
Okay, why
are you
don't
ready
you come
to introduce?
around to make sure your people see you?
I had to make a guest appearance. How are you?
If we talk Marvel stuff, we'll call you.
We'll bring you
Of
back.
course you would, because you need the expert. Me and Kevin Feige are the only two that could probably do it. So, hello, welcome to TMSM Weekly Live, show number 15 for July 23rd, 2018. I am your cameraman this week, Scott, and I'll let Michelle do the introductions of her and John. So you guys have a good show. I'll be back there shutting you guys down.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
And I am your host, Michelle Atwood, and with me tonight is my friend John, aka Panda, from the Big Fat Panda Show. Thank you for coming on the show.
You. I love this. It's weird for me because I'm recorded all the time, so I don't know live stuff. If I make mistakes, I just edit them out. I cannot do that, so it's a little.
I'm waiting for his little video too from Big Fat Kung Fu Panda.
No, see, that's what I told him. I said it's okay to be live, and we're just gonna chat. And that you guys really appreciate our off-the-cuff, just no rehearsed banter. So here we go. And Scott is going to be watching.
A bar stool. I feel like a Starbucks cake pop.
We have Scott that's going to be watching for questions. That's why I usually have the computer up, but I wanted to give John and I some space. So Scott will answer questions that will go. He's laughing already.
I can only imagine what someone wrote.
Robert goes, I heard the camera has 10 pounds, but not a beard. Robert.
And ears.
Yes, Judy, I'm behind
Jack,
you.
Jack, be good.
Jack, come here.
Jack, be good. Okay, so they're used to my dog barking during the show, too. All right, so before we get into the whole Christmas in July thing, and we're going to explain to you in a minute why we're having Christmas in July, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about John. John and I have been friends for almost 5 years, like since I was back.
Has it been 5 years?
It has. I was still in
That's pretty
Michigan.
cool.
I've been here for over 4 years.
That's pretty cool.
So, and he's the one who kind of told me when we were moving here, kind of like what to expect, like what it's going to be like. So he kind of gave me the crash course in moving to Florida because he did the same thing. So I wanted to let John talk a little bit about himself and what he does. So take it away.
I'm not really good about talking about myself.
I'll help.
All I know is my claim to fame is the YouTube channel BigFatPanda.com. That's really it. I don't have a blog, although sometimes I'll guest blog for people, but BigFatPanda.com is where it is. It's YouTube. Video's been my thing, and I'm trying to keep that as my niche, and that's about it. Hopefully that is successful.
It is successful, and he does a really good job. So.
You did a good show. I do a monthly show to go along with Disney videos, and Michelle was on one. And I used to do a lot more skits. I need to get back into the skits. And she did a comedy skit where, if you ever see the castle lighting, do you remember? It used to be Cinderella would come out and say thank you for my castle, and she'd light the castle, and then they changed it to Anna and Elsa, and
people lost their minds about that one. They were upset.
They did disrespect Cinderella where they didn't mention her really, and it was like they came and took over the castle and decided we're gonna light it up. And we had her play fairy godmother. You know, we should put a link somewhere at some point.
Yes. We'll do that because that show, believe it or not, was in 2014.
Wow.
I know. And
that's amazing.
You have to understand, and he can verify this too. When I moved here, I was very timid and shy. I know not anymore. And I was afraid to do the show. Do you remember?
Yeah, but not that much. Scott was in like the wings waiting and
remember you made him leave? You were like, you're making her nervous. Go.
Because you just make me laugh. No, I remember you being pretty good with it.
I remember you guys did it. Completely great, perfect, first try.
And I didn't record.
The camera wasn't on.
Right, yeah. And the second take and third is not as good usually.
No, and I didn't know that. I got it right the first time, and he was like, "Uh-oh, the camera wasn't on." I was gonna die because it was awful. But I will say, at the time, I was scared to do it, and he's like, "No, you got this." And
you did a really good job.
And you're like, "You're gonna do this like now." And I remember him grabbing my hand and squeezing it, and he'd be like, just pay attention to me and just do it. Do you remember that?
I do. And I also know I have to silence my phone.
Oh, silence your phone.
Yeah.
I have to silence my dog. He's still growing.
No, I think that's part of the charm, right?
You guys are used to the dog.
I would like to hear Jack bark.
People are saying Jack saying hi.
Oh, yeah. See, they know the dog.
If you talk, does he bark? Like, can you make...
No, I don't want to make a bark.
Okay.
No, we don't want to do that because then he'll start snoring.
Okay, no.
So actually, those of you, I just thought of something too. Those of you who read my book, when I talk about being scared to be on my friend's YouTube show, that's the friend that I'm talking about in the book.
Yay.
So that's
I feel like photocopy.
I know, we need like a photo.
You can highlight your there.
Oh my goodness.
And Christmas is wonderful.
Disney's never going to invite us back to anything early. No, I'm kidding.
We do not get drunk at parties.
No, we don't.
I'm not a liquor person.
You're not?
No. It makes me tired. I'm a food person, if you haven't guessed it.
Our audience loves food.
Let's at some point talk about food. Do you know I haven't gotten to the
lunchbox
lunchbox so much? Okay, what do you...
This one's a jab at you. Somebody said you keep the book in a Trapper Keeper.
Oh!
You've seen the Trapper Keeper. I've showed you.
This is the best. John was in a Trapper Keeper commercial years ago. You want to talk about it?
I was, I think, 19, and I was supposed to look 16. I auditioned in Manhattan for the Trapper Keeper notebook. It says, "Where's your homework?" And I had to read hundreds of excuses, and I had to call back, got back $30,000 for that commercial.
Wow.
I know. That was pretty awesome. At a time where we were like on welfare, so it was awesome. And yeah, it's on YouTube. If you look up Trapper Keeper commercial, you'll see a 16-year-old face of me, maybe 18, 19. It was in the 80s, and it was popular. And then you never know if it's coming back, and so then when the check started to come the next summer, it was awesome.
Residuals.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because I remember you telling me something about a Trapper Keeper, and then I was telling my boys, and my boys are like, "What's a Trapper Keeper?"
There's adults today that remember the commercial, like, that was you? It's funny how, it was one of those commercials that stuck for a little while.
And you know what? There's a lot of people like myself, and I'm sure you're the same way, who love like 80s, even 90s, I would say, like pop culture references and movies and things like that. So you mentioned something like Trapper Keeper, where everybody's like, "Oh, I had to have one of those."
Then they made a video with children watching that commercial and their reaction to it, and that was really funny because I had to see 8-year-olds react to me. And they're like, "Oh, this guy's funny," and it was just, I'm so scared what they might say. And I was like, please, I'm fragile. Don't hurt my feelings.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, it's fun facts, You say Claim to Fame is your YouTube show, but I'm guessing it's the Trapper Keeper.
Well, it's going to be this now, I hope. So I'm trying to switch it up.
Switch it up a little bit. They're going to be like, "Hey, you're the guy in the Santa hat."
The guy who took Scott's
The guy who took Scott's place for
yeah,
a
you
bit.
took Scott's place.
Yeah, if you want me back in places, just say.
Do you remember? This is what we do. What do you guys call it? We take detours. Is that what we call
Everybody
them?
keeps talking about food. They're mentioning.
Yeah, okay,
Everybody's talking about the French toast s'more sandwich.
So what we do and what
I
they
didn't have a
expect.
French toast s'mores sandwich.
They had them at the lunchbox at Toy Story Land, but they have it in the morning.
Did not get that.
I did not either.
Did you get the grilled cheese with the tomato soup?
Yes.
It was pretty epic. Did you feel the same?
It was very good, and then I made the kids go back and have it the same thing because it was that good.
Okay, the tomato soup is the same tomato soup they have in the Magic Kingdom.
Is it?
Yes, you can get it at the Plaza.
I didn't know.
And it's my favorite tomato basil soup because it is creamy, but not overly creamy. It's just got a great flavor. I really want to put like an IV of tomato soup and just be on the drip. They never give you enough, and even when it's hot, it's still delicious. So if you can be in the 100-degree sun and still enjoy it, that's good. And the grilled cheese, I didn't realize they also had a brisket grilled cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Did not taste that one. But
No, Scott wanted that too.
my eyes tasted it when I saw someone else have it. So
Did you hear the uproar this week? I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna get to the Christmas stuff, but
No,
they're used to us. This is what we do.
Okay.
We go in and out of topics,
Okay.
and they like it that way. Don't you guys like it?
is
that
the uproar
way?
the cancellation of something? The Monte Cristo.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Yeah, but I don't understand. It hasn't been open long enough to know that it wasn't successful to cancel it.
2 weeks. Okay,
Oh, my
so for
Italian
those,
is really coming
I
out.
know for those of you who we talked about this in our group this week, and I believe that somebody made a meme about. I know, right? Smack the camera. That the Monte Cristo that we talked about and these people love tachos too, by the way. The Monte Cristo is gone. Like, it's off the menu.
Do you remember how proud the chef was when he spoke about it?
Yes.
So why would they cancel it?
I don't know. Did you have one?
No, but just because I didn't order one, I'm saying to you, it's my fault. No, but I don't think it was they don't have enough data to know that was not
2 weeks is not enough time, if you ask me.
No.
It wasn't a real one.
There has to be something. I think there was a cost factor. Something else played into this decision.
Well, when we went back, like John and I were at the 2-day Toy Story event for media only, which was pretty great, wasn't it?
It was great.
We are really lucky and blessed that we get to do those things.
Completely. Never take that for
Never take it for granted. So that's why him and I get along, because we're both on the same page about those things.
We kind of got in at the same time.
We
started
did.
at the same
We were
time.
like,
It
oh
was
my
good.
gosh, this is great.
That was awesome.
So we kind of hung out at the Toy Story Land thing, and we got to talk about, we got to see a lot of things. We got to try the grilled cheese and such, but the Monte Cristo not that night. So 2 days later, I took the boys back, and I wanted them to go try the food. So we did get a Monte Cristo, and it was on French toast instead of like your typical Monte Cristo.
You weren't thrilled with it?
It was good.
No, but I can tell immediately you weren't thrilled.
I wasn't over the moon. I
Right.
thought that it needed more of that raspberry stuff on
It
it.
wasn't Bennigan's version.
It wasn't. We were talking about this like 2 weeks ago on here. Like everybody thought. Do you remember
Bennigan's.
Bennigan's?
Yes. Wait, is that still around in the?
We asked that. Somebody actually looked it up while we were around a couple weeks ago. There was one somewhere.
Are there any more?
There's one somewhere in Florida.
There is some Bennigan's, really? They were pretty good.
They were good, and they had a really good money.
It was like Bennigan's, Applebee's, Chili's. There's like
when we were younger, like those were like the places on a Friday night you got nothing to do. Let's go to Bennigan's.
Suzanne just called you out and said you took the pork off the Monte Cristo.
I did. Okay, so yes, I did. I don't think.
I pulled pork. Is it pulled pork?
No,
It
it's
was
just,
ham.
No, I don't like ham.
Ha-ha!
Love bacon.
Oh,
Hey, ham. Do you like bacon?
no,
Turkey
she doesn't eat
bacon.
any.
Oh, okay. No, I love crispy bacon, but I don't like ham.
Okay, see, so I got roasted. No pun intended for taking the ham off the sandwich.
I would do the same.
And but you know what? It was a good sandwich.
Who remembers?
Apparently not. It is gone.
It's gone. I don't know why it's gone. I would love to find out though.
You know, we should ask. We have access to
I
it.
know. we should.
Yeah.
If any of our Disney reps are watching, what happened to the Monte Cristo?
We're not watching this.
And when they spoke about it, they said the Monte Cristo that was taken off of another menu is returning. And everyone was like, yay! And now it's gone again. So what are they doing? They're just teasing people?
I heard it was a comparison to one in California. You couldn't compete with it. That's what they.
Okay.
It wasn't
There
up
is
to
one
the
in
California
Disneyland,
standard.
When
isn't
I
there? The Monte Cristo?
Is there?
I think
That's
so.
what they said. They said this
When-
one was making that one look.
I am constantly hearing that the California Disneyland, California Adventure food is better than what we have here. Everyone says it. When I was interviewing Dan Cockrell, I asked, and he's like, really? Is that a thing? I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they don't know it's a thing.
No, and you know what? When we were at California Adventure last summer for D23, we took the boys and we got kids meals. I forget what area it was in, but the kids meal selections out there, and even I got one too. I mean, you got they had like Mexican rice on the side, and they had they could get I don't know if it was a quesadilla.
It's not just a Danimals and
no, it was like a real dinner. I mean, better than what we had.
And it comes on real plates.
And it comes on real plates.
See, as a tip, as what you just said, sometimes if you want to eat a lot in Disney, a kids meal is perfect.
It is.
Because you get a little something, you don't spend a lot, and then you can eat again. It's a good excuse to eat again in a half hour from that.
It is. And you're saving money.
You save a lot. For $6.99, you got to see what.
And a drink.
Or if you go to the places that you get free refills on your drinks, then you're doing even better.
Or 3 o'clock, the hunger is killing you. Dinner isn't until 6. Get an Uncrustable.
Oh,
just a quickie thing.
Save food, you guys. They're gonna love this because we're talking food.
And sometimes there's an annual pass discount on a kids meal, and you're like, I paid $4 for all.
And then you want to take pictures and show your friends. Look at the food I got.
And I'm waiting for Disney to be like, I'm sorry, it's for kids only, but they don't do that. No.
They don't do that. A lot of people think that there's this rule about kids meals, and there's not.
Oh, Molly is sitting down. She's not here.
No, they don't even ask. I mean, a lot of times I will order kids meals, and the cast members don't even.
They don't ask. No, they don't.
The best one is at Backlot Express. It's the chicken and waffles, and you get 2 sides.
That is
so you
true.
Get chicken tenders, you get waffles, you get fries, you get your cookie, and your drink.
And
Can
your
you
drink
get the Darth Vader chicken and waffles?
Yes.
Yes. Oh. And you get to refill your drink. That's great on a hot day at Disney.
Can't beat it.
You got to think about that sort of thing with how hot it is. And it's been miserable hot here this summer.
It's been, okay, is it me or is it the summer?
It's swampy.
I thought it's as I got older. It's just me, but it's not.
No, it's swampy.
It is swampy. It's like you're underwater, yeah.
It is. I always, you're talking about tomato soup. I always tell the kids, I feel like I'm walking through soup sometimes when I'm outside. Too, yeah. It's soupy. So, he's laughing.
Yes,
I can
Joe,
only
you
imagine
do get maple syrup.
What?
Joe asked, do you get maple syrup?
Oh.
Robert, let the tots go.
Tachos?
They love tachos. I will tell you, and welcome people to our show that have never been on the Main Street Mouse anymore before. We talk food a lot, and our people
we got to talk Christmas stuff, though.
I know we do. Tachos. Okay, so anyway, so now we're going to talk about Christmas, and this is the whole theme of the show. So, and why are we talking about Christmas, you ask? Well, Friday, we were lucky enough to be asked by Disney to do a Christmas in July day, and Scott was there too. I'm sorry, our cameraman Scott was there too. So we went real early.
It was early. We're not complaining.
We're not complaining. We love our job.
We love it. They could be watching. We love it. Thank you.
We love it. Thank you.
You both just got kicked off the list.
That's it.
Damn it. Okay, so we had to be at Epcot early because they were going to take us on a tour. We were going to see part of, 2 different tours?
It was slightly confusing, yes. Only because we had to keep in our mind what tour was what. We did the D-Lights tour, D-L-I-G-H-T-S. I didn't realize that, by the way, till about half into the tour. That it was I thought it was a food tour happening. I didn't know it was D-Lights and the Yuletide Fantasy Tour.
Yuletide Fantasy. Now, didn't they say... Now, we didn't really rehearse this, so we're going to have to hash it out in front of you. So, didn't they say that one of the tours was enhanced this year, so it was kind of a new tour?
The Yuletide Fantasy.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
But it doesn't make sense that it was enhanced when now we found out the Whispering Canyon that we did have on Yuletide Fantasy is now part of the D-Lights tour. So, I don't know what we saw. We just saw a lot of stuff.
We saw lots of...
You have to do both tours, period, and let us know what you think.
Isn't it funny?
If you're coming to us for accuracy, I'd look elsewhere.
No, please look it up somewhere else.
They were both great. The D-Lights tour...
That's why I'm not on the show this week. It's the accurate one.
No. Are you? Well, then you can help us.
He does the research for the show.
Do they feed you at all on Yuletide Fantasy?
You get to go to Amorette's.
Okay, so that you can eat your cookie. Okay, we'll talk
about that.
Should we start with D-Lights?
Sure.
Okay, they took us into... Okay, if you ever enter the back of the Magic Kingdom, you constantly, or even before I moved here, saw the Holiday Services building. And this was really exciting to me. What goes on in there? And it says everything in the world for the holidays. Everything in Disney World for the holidays. That's where they store everything in the world for the holidays. And we got to go in there.
and they don't let you people. By the way, did you get your photo pictures?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
They were on the card with our pin.
Yeah, it's backstage, so you can't take your own
yes,
photos.
That was
and
my
videos.
whole point.
They take them for you, and then we have a code. You think it's out already?
It was on that card they gave us with the pin for the tour. There was a sticker on the bottom.
Okay.
Of it. They gave
Well,
us
shoot.
I thought they'd have sent us an email to say, "Hey,
I
they're
thought
ready."
so too.
But we'll check that.
But anyway, so they will take pictures for you. Like you get to hold a sign that says what tour it is.
I don't like Scott being so smart.
I know. He's a whole lot. I get corrected a lot. No, I get. This is my life.
They're the faces of their sites.
Okay, so anyway, so you get to go into these warehouses and you see things that, you know what I thought was really cool, and I know we're talking Christmas, but we walked in the one warehouse. They had the scarecrows that are in front of the Magic Kingdom. Did you see those?
Yeah.
And then like the big pumpkins that sit outside, like
the faces. And
yes,
stuff,
it is so weird to see these things like wrapped in paper in a warehouse, and you look at them and you're like, I know where that one goes.
I know where
that one's gonna go.
It just sits there all year doing nothing.
You know what I wondered though? Like I saw I should have asked, but like the props that they had for the different like for Halloween and for Christmas. I wonder if they have like backup scarecrows, like if this one breaks.
In case one breaks.
Yes.
What about that?
Because did you see some things had two?
Some things did have double, yeah.
And then some did not.
I'm thinking it comes out a couple of weeks before it has to go out, and they check it, make sure it's good, and.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting though? Because like, what if something happens?
Well, okay, good question. Because I asked them one year, "Are you growing out of the space?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "Well, when will that happen?" They said it did 2 years ago. So there is another whole building with more holiday stuff. So I don't know that they can handle double.
I don't know.
Maybe for some important things.
Maybe, because, there's some things that people, and, even though they come out with new things every year at the parties or whatever, there's certain staples that people grow to want to see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but like...
If those scarecrows weren't there, I'd be a little sad.
I know! Or like the Mickey pumpkins that they put on the light posts. Like
Absolutely. I want them to get rid of them and they go to some place where we could buy them.
Every year I'm like, I wish
with
I could
the
sneak
wreath,
one out.
with the
Halloween
wreath,
with the Mickey pumpkin.
Yeah, I love those.
I love those.
I always take pictures of them, the same picture.
Me too, it's the same picture every year. And then I do have to do one where the pumpkin's in the front and the castle in the background.
What about the pumpkins that are... we're talking about Halloween a lot.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it.
What about the pumpkins that are on Main Street? Each one of them have different faces. I find like one that I like the most, and
I know.
I love those.
See, Disney just knows how to do it, whether it is Halloween or Christmas. It's all good. But anyway, the reason I brought up Halloween is because when we walked into the warehouse, they showed the Halloween stuff first, because they're getting ready for it. Can you believe that already? I mean, in a few weeks,
there was trees getting ready also.
There was.
For the trail.
Yes. They took us in the back. Like, we got to go through, like, this area where you saw the people working on the Christmas trees. And,
that was pretty amazing.
Did you hear what they said? That they were adding some new trees to the Christmas tree trail, and one of them is a Haunted Mansion tree?
That was the best.
I'm super excited
Now,
about
when he said what was going to go on the top of the Haunted Mansion tree, I was thinking Madame Leota.
Leota!
And they said, no, a bride. And I'm like, all right, I like the bride.
Okay.
But I just pictured, send us a message from someone.
Yes! Put the floating head on top of your tree.
I thought the same thing.
And the people working there looked like they were so busy that when they announced they're adding more trees, you could see the people being like...
So now that you brought it up, where are the other 4 trees? There's 5 new trees. What were they?
Was it Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins was one.
Let's make
Continue.
And we know Tron.
It was a Tron tree.
No.
And
See, Scott, we remember these things.
How about Star Wars?
Was there a Star Wars?
Story tree.
They said they're doing something really cool with the lightsabers.
Oh, and is there a monorail thing?
4 parks with the monorail. Garland
4-park tree with the monorail going. Can they hear you from there?
Yeah, you
'cause
guys can hear Scott.
I don't know if I should just repeat
Okay, so somebody
what
asked
you
where the
said.
Christmas tree trail was, because you're not paying attention to questions there, Atwood. Disney Springs has the Christmas tree trail. See,
Yes,
I'm
and it's
watching a
over
little bit.
by Once Upon a Toy.
Yep, right behind Earl Sandwich, like you walk right there. And I do remember them saying, like, this year the Christmas tree trail is going to have even more options to buy some of the ornaments on the tree. Like last year they set up that little stand, but then this year they're going to have like almost every ornament that you're going to be able to buy if you see it.
They expected like 500,000 people. They got 950,000 people. And they want 1 million to go through the Christmas tree trail.
It's a nice addition.
It really is.
So there's 25 trees now.
Is it 25 trees now?
And Santa's back there, and then you have to store at the end of it to buy.
Yes, and it snows. It's and it's free, right?
It's free.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the best part, because I don't know about you, but a lot of our readers, viewers, you know, because Christmas is tight for a lot of people. Everybody's buying gifts, and you know, maybe they just want to get a little Disney magic and not have to break the bank for it.
And think how smart it is for them. They're going to get us there to Disney Springs. We're
Yes.
going to probably buy something.
Yes.
We're going to probably eat something.
Yes.
So that's a good draw to get us there.
And you don't have to pay to get in to see it. And
Correct.
I think that's a really good feature.
And Earl of Sandwich, another good place for a meal that doesn't break the entire bank.
Right.
And you get annual pass holder discount.
Oh, and
Do you really?
Yeah,
I did
you
not
get
know
annual
that.
pass holder discount at Earl of Sandwich.
I think a lot of annual pass holders don't ask as much as they should, and we all forget. I wonder how much money we could have all saved. I forget to ask.
Wolfgang Puck's also the Express.
Wolfgang Puck's. But you know what though? Merchandise is 20%, so that's always what I remember.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it went to
food
10 at one point
Yep.
when they were getting a little too secure with themselves. Now it's back to 20%.
It's bad. So whoever asked, I'm sorry, but yes, that is at Disney Springs. And somebody asked when the trail starts. I know that
It's got to be November.
it's November for the parties and such, but I thought the Christmas tree trail was like closer to Thanksgiving.
Really?
I could be totally wrong.
No, that sounds right to me.
Because I remember my parents come to town at Thanksgiving and it was out then.
Well, I always know too, the Grand Floridian, the Contemporary, they start their little celebrations different.
They do.
Like you can't see the Contemporary, you can get the gingerbread stuff like on a certain date, and then the Grand Floridian comes 10 days later. It's weird.
Yeah. So and this is good information too. We're gonna get back to the tour in a minute, but since we're talking about you mentioned the Grand Floridian, another cheap way to see Disney Christmas festivities is to do the monorail loop and go see the like
Polynesian weirdest thing. My favorite hotel, not for Christmas. It's just
okay, but why?
tropical Christmas. Just doesn't really. I mean, you could play Malika Liki Maka just so much. and the deck Malikity.
Come on, D. Martin, do it.
Malika Liki Maka, something like that.
Gnocchi, that's Italian food.
Gnocchi. Via Napoli, she do Malika Liki gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
Yeah, it's just no tropical. It just doesn't go very well. But Contemporary, beautiful, and the Grand Floridian, gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
the
we're not
Wilderness
gonna
Lodge
find
is my favorite decorations
Wilderness Lodge is a beautiful tree.
because you want it to snow outside. You want to be by the fireplace with the decoration. It's just
And then you walk outside and it's hot.
yes.
But you get that illusion while you're in there by the fireplace. And then there, did you know that they have, especially at Christmas time, like on the second floor, they have the big fireplaces that you can sit in a rocker
That's what I mean. Yeah.
and look at the tree.
They just need Santa Claus there.
They do, or pass out like
And everybody just, I just want that. Oh,
God.
something we did get as a gift that they gave us that you really got to get. Everybody needs it. They have a Disney dish and glass for Santa for the kids to leave cookies and milk.
Scott's gonna go grab
Oh,
that prop
please.
right now.
Come on, I'm a little overly sentimental about this.
All right, go ahead.
I'm giving away how crazy I am, but I should take it out. Okay, I'll let you talk while I check this out.
Oh no,
It's
They-
just so adorable.
they gave us this as kind of a
Do you know
thank
how
you
much
gift.
this might be? I'm going to say $19.99. I'm
Oh,
just guessing.
Is there a price? I'm gonna
There is. They crossed it out
darn
like a
it,
good
just
gift.
like a gift. What's it say?
I want to say it was $29.99.
I want to say that is
22?
like it looks like $24.99.
Okay. They put a marker through it.
20 something.
Okay, look at this
So you
dish.
can return it.
So you can't return it.
It looks like something that in a Christmas story. Is there glare on that, or you can see it okay?
I can't tell you yet. It's not. It looks okay.
Something like from a Christmas story they would put out, but wait, there's more. This is the dish you put cookies on for Santa Claus. Did you ever do that? I did that as a
Oh
kid.
yeah, heck yeah. My
And
mom
you
used
get,
to put
you
out
get up and there'd be a
especially
bite in
like
it.
this.
I truly believe that yes, Santa does eat them.
Yeah.
What should I say?
Oh,
And it
those are
says
cute.
milk and cookies Santa. First of all, look at that.
That's cute.
And then look, it says milk and cookies Santa. Come on.
That is great. Now, aren't you getting in the Christmas spirit already? You should be, because we are.
I want to do it right. I want Christmas
No,
Santa.
I know. I love Christmas.
You want me to put it up?
Yeah. It's
Look at
too hard.
You're live.
No, we have time.
2 hours later. Here's guys. Put this for you. Okay, so the D-Lights tour, they told us about lights, which were how the lights were put on the castle.
That's
they
interesting.
demonstrate how they do that,
Very cool.
which is amazing.
So there was, did I write it down? Okay, so there is Scott, you know it. You have it written down.
What?
The part
How many lights?
Well, yeah, they talk. There's 350,000 lights on the castle. I believe they said 6,000 nets.
And the nets are colored exactly like the blue and the gray part. So in the daytime, they are kind of non-obtrusive. You can see them if you look up close.
I can see them, but I love to be up by the castle. But it's not something like when you walk in during the day that you're going to really notice that, hey, there's lights up there.
I think the trade-off for having that beautiful light is great. And no matter what you see on videos, and remember, I'm a video guy, it doesn't do it justice.
It does not. And you know, that's one thing I always try to tell people, like if we do live feeds at Christmas or whatever, and they just, it's hard to really put into words how beautiful the castle is at Christmas time.
Everybody that I've ever went with, a family member, whatever, when they see that castle light up in person, again, not just on video, it does something to your soul. It really does. And people cry. And it doesn't just light. It does like a wave of it glistens. It glistens.
It looks like ice. I mean, it's beautiful. And you know, I don't know about you, but I'll even go after Christmas because I want to see the castle like just one or two more times before they take it down. And people are like, "Aren't you sick of Christmas?" I'm like, "But it's Disney."
And they do light it multiple times.
They
right?
do.
Okay. I don't quite understand that. Like Anna and Elsa come, they light it. Why does it go out again? Huh? You got to give me a reason. What is the magic running out for Elsa?
Oh, poor Elsa. But you know, the thing is, though, at the ESPN thing that I was at 2 weeks ago, they were talking about the castle lit up. And the reason, here I'm going to drop some knowledge, the reason that they keep it lit for like 2 extra weeks is so that the runners that run a marathon in January have a lit up castle to run through in the morning.
That's very nice of them.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Now, when you're dying and like coughing up a lung from running, at least you get something for you to look at. Now, I am not trying to be hating on Run Disney. I just can't run because I have a bad knee. But if I could, do it, I think that would be
nice. Yeah.
It would be nice. So that's what they said at ESPN.
That would cause me to run. So would some good carrot cake. Like I'd run 2 weeks.
Do they have Christmas cookies at the end of the run, or you know? Do
you remember? Okay, people think it's a lot of electric to run the castle light, but do you remember?
Good.
I don't remember. Hold on, I'm going to try to tell you what I think I remember, and Scott will tell me if I'm right. To light the castle every night is the same amount of electric as it costs to run 3 of your washer and dryer.
I think
3 cycles of laundry. 3 loads of laundry.
3 cycles of laundry.
That's pretty good, I think. I mean, that's great. To light that whole castle every night.
Yeah, very cost efficient.
Yeah.
You know, they were saying that a lot of people think that, Disney's electric bill has to be crazy because of all the lights on the castle, but they use LED lighting, and they do it very cost efficient, and that's what they said. It's about the same cost as it costs to run 3 loads of laundry.
I'm sure their electric bill is high from other things, though.
Oh, I'm sure. But the castle itself is just 3 loads of laundry.
It's nice to know that they do go the route of efficiency.
Right. Even solar panel field is the hidden Mickey solar panel.
And they say that can power a
city.
Whole
park.
Yeah.
Or all the parks or something like that. Yeah, it's really efficient.
So you get to learn all that good stuff at part of that tour. Then they talk about the fireworks.
Okay, the coolest thing for me about that, do you know what it was?
What's that?
Do you have anything to say? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Okay. They showed you a firework cut in half.
They did.
And it was, okay, do you ever see when they do a star pattern and a star comes? So they cut it in half, and there is, balls in the shape of a star. So it literally goes up, and these balls just blow up and go. There's a fuse inside. Seeing a firework cut in half, I don't know.
It's like this big, and it looks like a star, and then it's got like the fuse. It looks so simple compared to what it actually.
But isn't it like $1,000 for that one?
Yeah, it's expensive. They were saying that
1,000 pounds.
It's what was it? Yeah, 1,000 pounds of fireworks go off in one of their shows.
And I did ask about duds, and eventually they happen very infrequently. And they said if they do, you probably would never even notice it. So there must be some redundancy there. But I think they get a refund. I think he said that from the company that. If it's a dud and they return it or something, they get the money back for that one. There's very few of them, but
they buy so many.
Right, and it's not like us that we light it with a flame and it goes up first. Some of them, and then they're electronically lit from inside.
It's pretty fascinating to learn about that stuff.
It really is because you think,
You take it for granted that it's all just Disney magic, but when you see all the work and all the planning that goes into these things, and they do that like every night.
And then Christmas time, you just change the whole show. So now what they're used to, it's all a new computer program, and
it's really neat. And then they have like a little prop castle with like the netting on it, so then you can take your picture in front. Well, they'll take it for you of the castles. Oh, go ahead. Scott raised his hand.
No, I thought the cool part was they show how the globe, the little LED screen.
Oh yeah,
is done. That was kind of cool. I
For
thought.
the illuminations.
For the Christmas
I think they rely too much on that TV on the globe.
But I mean, it's kind of cool.
It is cool to
how
they do.
Like 1 inch by
But
1 inch.
the globe, we keep it real here too, and it's okay. They expect it. The globe part of illuminations is long. I mean, there's not a wow factor to it anymore. Please don't get mad at me for saying it.
No, if they replace that with something nice 4K LED screen, I will be all for it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll tell you what. At Christmas time, the holiday ending of Illuminations is beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And then they play, Let There Be Peace on Earth. It makes me cry every flipping time. And then at the end, it looks like the whole world's going to explode with all the boom, 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 boom. And it's like the big white thing.
That was interesting. I don't know if it was holiday. No, remember when they told us about the barge exploding at the end?
Yes.
The burn-off.
The burn-off? The barge explodes with fire. I'll give the quick version of this. I don't think it's really holiday oriented.
Who cares? That's okay.
Illuminations.
We don't care. Go ahead.
And that originally people would wait till the end of the night and then have it explode because they can't take it in the back with the gas that's still left in it. They have to burn it off. So people would see it and call the fire department and say, Epcot is exploding. Epcot's on fire. So then they said, okay, let's just say to the people, listen, this is not part of the show, but we have to do a burn off, enjoy the fire. It's not bad. Now the people from the resorts, like the yacht club, are calling Epcot's on fire. So now it's just part of the show. Not because they wanted it to be, but because they had to stop people from going. I love that little inside info stuff.
It's great to hear those stories.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it that way, but they have to do it that way.
I'm thinking, why didn't they do that in the beginning? Just say, let's just make it part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could cause a lot less confusion and phone calls.
It's amazing that they had to be led into that direction.
Like, hey, it's okay. No need for it.
Probably was a timing thing with the music.
Yeah,
originally would be my guess.
I thought it was a mistake actually once. When I first saw them, I was like, that looks like something didn't go as planned.
Oh. But you know what though? Since we're talking about Epcot, we'll get back to tours in a second. But holidays around the world are coming back for Epcot too, and I love that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Epcot's becoming a big festival now all the time. Mm-hmm. So the holidays around the world is now its own festival, right? Didn't they say something about that where now it's an official festival?
Yeah, so they added it as another festival for the year because so now they have the art festival and then the flower and garden festival, food and wine festival, and now the Christmas festival. So now you get forward.
When's the miscellaneous festival?
I don't know. But you know what's weird though? I don't know about you, but when I go to Epcot in non-festival season, it feels weird.
It's disappointing now.
Yeah, it's like there's no topiaries, there's no booths and fun merchandise.
And there's not a lot of people there.
And when you see it at Flower and Garden, you're like, how does it look without this? Because this is so pretty, and you just can't imagine.
You know what I wish, and I know it would take away some of the magic. Oh, the dog's trying.
It was Christmas every year, every day.
No, but like like by under the monorail where they put all the flowers. It would be kind of nice if after Flower and Garden they left it, and then just change them throughout the year.
Let them die and then do like a haunted mansion.
Can't we do like Halloween flowers there? But I just think it adds a really nice touch to that area, and I'm sure it's like a lot of maintenance. You see the people with the hoses, like watering all those flowers.
Do you think about planting those colors and color by number?
And they do it fast.
They
all
do.
That stuff, they do a high turnover. They get your flowers in one day, and then when it's over, it's gone.
It amazes me.
What did he say it takes to put the lights on a castle? Was it 6 to 8 weeks? And they take it down in 14 days?
Is that what he said?
That sounds right, but I don't remember for sure.
Scott was paying more attention than we were.
I just remember thinking about the crane and all the stuff and the people up there having to drape it.
Yeah.
And that the castle is so precious to them, there's very few anchor points.
Yep.
To drape it.
They use nets.
They use the nets, but they still have to anchor the nets.
Yeah.
But they have as few, drill holes to hold the net as possible.
Do you remember what the answer was? I'm going to put you on the spot because I don't remember. What the answer was when somebody asked, it might have been you that asked it, if one light goes out.
No, I think that was Alan.
Yeah.
What happens is the whole castle go out, or half the castle. You know, reminds me of Christmas Vacation.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like the Griswold's house, and they got to go through all the lights to find out which one is the broken. I love that movie.
That happens, really.
I know.
But they said no. There's a control board for each section, right? And they do have to change the control board, and then it lights up again. Last year they did have an issue that they could not fix.
What was it?
There was a little square on the top right, and it would constantly blink.
I remember that.
And it irked me like I can't tell you.
Like,
my OCD, poof.
You were like, pull the curtain.
And then I go back another day going, they had to solve it. There it is again!
Again! You know? You need to get up on the castle and start checking all the lights.
If anybody else noticed the light issue, let us know. I'm curious if anyone else noticed the castle did a weird blinky thing in a little square, but enough to...
But still.
And you could see them working on it. Do you remember? You could see the guys running around. Could not figure that one out.
They were pulling a Griswold.
I'm sure it got fixed. If it's back this year,
Well, you just call them out. Better not be.
Yeah.
Okay, we're watching for it this year. So that better be.
You had a whole year.
Okay, back to the tour.
Back to the tour.
See, this is working out great
Awesome.
because he goes on detours with me, and this is how we work. See,
That could be better. We just go on tangents.
I know.
Like Thelma and Louise off
This is a special 5.5 hour show.
This is special 5.5 hour show.
Thelma and Louise off the mountain.
I know. Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Okay, so that was about it for D-Lights. No, that's all we saw.
That was it.
Yeah.
I think.
And it's 3 hours for.
Is it
somebody
3
books it?
hours? No, stop it.
I think someone said a 3-hour tour, and I thought.
Yeah, 3 hour tour. Because I remember thinking Gilligan's Island.
Me too. Immediately.
Lights is the 6-hour evening tour.
Oh, so they must take them then to see the lights.
They go to Whispering Canyon for a meal.
Okay. Whispering Canyon for meal.
Okay.
Backstage at 2 of the theme parks.
Oh. That's the
they
problem
get to
with showing
talk
us
to
a
people
piece
who
of
put it all
it.
together, meet the event and decorating support teams.
Because they were talking about with Candlelight Processional too.
Okay, Jody, we need the whole tour from now on.
I know.
Can't be these pieces.
And they get to do the Candlelight Processional.
She's gonna send us emails tomorrow. I'll be like, really?
Yeah, they get to see the Candlelight Processional also.
Candlelight Processional, yes, and that's a big part of it. What?
That's beautiful. Have you seen it?
It is beautiful.
It is very, very moving. And you do not... I'll say if you're religious, it's probably a little bit more moving. Mm-hmm. If you're spiritual at all, it's a little more moving. But I don't think you have to be. I think the emotion and the people and the soul is in that show, and it just moves me. I cry. I find myself tearing. I'm like, why?
Because it's like it's the spirit of Christmas. Like all like you know, like when you were a kid and like that Christmas feeling you used to get. I don't know what I always call it, but it was that Christmas feeling, and that gives you that same feeling sitting there.
Home Alone used to do that to me. The movie it just does the music.
Yes, so good.
So it feels like that, and then there's these big long horns and the people and the concert and the lights, and it just feels beautiful. It's great. And if Isabella Rossellini is doing it, the baby in the manger. she's great. And they're all good. She's good.
How did she do it?
What was it?
I think and that's when they saw Jesus. She just does, I don't know her accent, but Isabella Rossellini, she does it with a little accent, and she's the baby in the manger. She does it.
I can't. Don't make me.
Did you ever see her do it? If she's there this year, can you go with me just for her?
I'll go with you.
You doing that Whoopi's look at you like.
Whoopi, I've never seen her doing it.
Every time we go, it's Whoopi. Every time, and we don't even plan it. It just
doing it the night of our
happens
meetup
to be.
this year, because we're doing our meetup at Epcot this year.
Yeah, our Epcot's at
meetup.
I've seen Neil Patrick Harris, and he was pretty funny.
Yes.
And he said something about studios last year that he said we went over to the studios, or what's left of it. And I thought that was on the stage in Disney. He said, I was like, that's pretty good.
Well, they're gonna tell him to.
No, it was a good, real joke. I liked it.
I'm never gonna look at Isabella Rossellini the same again. You ruined it for me.
No. If anything, I made it better. You'll see.
No, whenever I think of her, do you remember the movie Death Becomes Her? With
Yes.
Meryl Streep?
Yes.
She's the one with the potion.
Yes.
Yes.
She's awesome.
That is, my dad and I used to quote that movie a lot. My dad and I are movie quoters. And like 80s, 90s movies, we like were on it. And I'm like, does anybody remember that movie?
It wasn't the greatest movie, but she was great in it.
I thought that was a funny movie.
You like Xanadu too, though.
Oh, shut up. Okay, so I like movies that maybe other people don't necessarily care for, but that's okay.
All right, so are we on to Yuletide Fantasy?
Can we move on?
Yes.
Somebody has a
D-Lights is fun.
question.
We didn't see what's
What?
Somebody asked that question, but
What's
I don't think it's anything. I think they're kind of
It's about
hinting
Santa.
towards Osborne Lights.
Okay.
Has anyone thought that the area leading up to the main entrance of Galaxy's Edge plus the surrounding area by Mama Melrose's would be the new area for the lights at Hollywood Studios?
They could do it. We have heard nothing about that, but they said there's more surprises coming, and when I pressed, they said you can't open up all your gifts in one day.
That's right.
So it could be a thing. The Osborne, like, do we still have the lights themselves?
They have
somewhere?
to be here still.
They have to be. And you know what? Now that somebody mentioned that, I'm not being negative, I'm just being real. That Muppet area back there needs something.
There's nothing there.
There's
right now.
nothing there. And if they were to do Christmas lights back there, how fun would that be?
Yep, I think Mama Melrose would do better. I think the
Yes.
whole area would do
And
better.
I think Disney does because Mr. Osborne passed away, I think last year or the year before. He died a couple years ago.
Oh, somebody said that the lights have been moved, that they're gone.
Oh, did they go like
I
another theme
guess.
park, like Dollywood took them or something?
Well, all the voices cried out.
They
I
could.
loved Osborne.
I think Disney Springs was the logical choice because it's going to help you commercially, but then you got the tree
They
trail.
got the tree
They
trail
could have
instead.
built an area to replicate what was there. Since it
Even
was
if it was
out, they could have
half
done
the
it.
size, it was amazing. We loved it. Everybody
I
misses the Osborne lights.
loved the Osborne lights. There was just something that got you when the lights went up and the music's playing. It was just like, oh, so good. But okay, anyway, back to the tour. Oh my
Stop crying,
Okay,
everybody.
back
God,
to
you
the tour.
fit in good here. You are just like
Back to,
all
I
right,
might
anyway.
be no good for you. because
No,
we go on
this is
tangents.
what we do. This
Okay,
is what Scott. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? This is what we
We're
do.
gonna have to
I
make
just
this.
gotta pull you
We're gonna
out
have to make
15
this a
minutes.
longer show. No.
No,
if
we
you,
don't- we
If
don't
you want
have-
us to stay longer, we will. If you want us to go in 15 minutes, we will.
No, we don't
There's a
have a time.
GoFundMe. If you contribute, we'll stay on. Or if you
No,
contribute,
we
then
don't
it's
have a
on.
time limit on our show. We just stop talking when we stop talking.
Okay.
So, or if
I will
they-
give you a quick joke though.
Okay, good.
My mom goes to the Christmas party, and you know they give out free hot cocoa and cookies, and then she's at the Osborne Lights, and there's 1 million people and a lady with a tray, and my mother takes this huge hot cocoa, and she's like, "Wow, it's so much bigger here, and a big cookie," and she starts eating. I'm like, "Ma," and the woman's looking for $10. She goes, "Why?" I'm like, "Just because they were free at the Christmas party at the Mexican." She took it out of her mouth and went, "Thank you," put it back on the tray.
Oh
She said, "I'm not giving them $11 for it." Was just funny.
no!
This is what I had to deal with. Okay, next. Sorry.
But yeah, if only it was free everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
guys have a
condition
question.
people that aren't Disney fanatics that this was a thing you were
You
giving
guys
out.
have a sidetrack question. They want to know what your favorite Christmas movie or holiday movie is.
Oh,
Somebody said
Emmett
Die Hard.
Otter's Jug Band Christmas from Jim Henson. It is. I love it.
Oh my god!
Do you remember that? Ain't no hole in the washtub?
Oh yes.
We're closer now. Okay, I'm sorry. If you have not seen Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, it is a Muppet, but not the Muppets. Jim Henson. It's on iTunes. You have to see that movie. It's technically Disney now. I'm sorry.
Okay, they used to play it like back when Fraggle Rock was a
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
You remember?
Dun, 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 dun,
Down
yeah.
Fraggle Rock. Yeah, my kids and I were talking about Fraggle Rock the other day, and they're like, "What's Fraggle Rock?" I
Was it
know.
Robert that dressed like Fraggle?
Oh yeah, one
Rock
of my
or the-
staffers, Robert, dressed as one of the Fraggles
Like
for
Cobra?
a convention. I forget which Fraggle he was, but my Andrew's like, "What's a Fraggle?" I'm like, "Oh,
They have to watch Fraggle.
parenting fail." I didn't know what
You can
Fraggle
rent.
was.
You can rent them the whole thing.
But Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. If you don't know what we're talking about, you need to.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
And it
River
was,
Bottom Nightmare.
You take it.
oh my god, the name
Sure.
of band. And then
Is it on YouTube?
I'm sure it is.
It's
That
gotta
would
be.
fun, too.
It's gotta be.
I
I
want
remember,
to see it as crystal clear as you can because it's still an old
It's like the Star Wars holiday
but
special.
it's good.
It
It's,
is
it's
good.
really touching. It's kind of a sad story
Yeah.
because Emmett and his mom are poor.
But it's happy at the end.
It is happy.
It's a happy
at the
ending. So it's okay.
But like when she's like cleaning the clothes on the wash tub and
Yeah,
it's sad.
I want to save up for the mother of pearl inlay guitar.
Yes!
I can't.
Oh my
We gotta watch
god!
it.
Oh my
I wanna
god!
watch
We're
it
gonna
again.
come back and do the show again in a few months. And
About
we're-
Emmett Otter.
Oh, as
Yes.
always said, Robert always said, okay, we can keep him.
Okay.
I've been replaced.
Robert,
We better hope he can do web design.
Robert, you like Emmett Otter?
Oh my god! You know the youngins are probably thinking, what are they talking
I'm in my
about?
mid 40s and I love
I
Emmett
love
Otter.
He was Wembley Fred.
Wembley.
All
Is he the one that was?
right.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. Boom.
Yeah.
I think that was Wembley.
I always liked Red because
Yes.
she had the poofy hair.
She's my favorite.
I liked her hair. Okay.
Sorry, sidetrack. Okay, go ahead next.
Weren't we supposed to get to Amoretz somewhere?
We never even got to Yuletide Fantasy.
Bob. All right. So wait, what?
You guys have been going in and out. You talked about the trees, which was part of Yuletide Fantasy. When we went to the other warehouse.
The trees are part of Yuletide Fantasy?
No, you guys talked about, because the trees were in the back room. Remember we went into the warehouse?
Oh, yes.
All the Christmas stuff, and they took us into the room where they were decorating.
Right. But I guess Delights goes into that warehouse also to show you that area.
I would assume.
To show you that castle
They
area.
tell us that, but I would assume.
I'm gonna go to bed tonight thinking of songs from Emma Otter's Ugly Bad Christmas. Darn it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. The next tour.
Yuletide Fantasy is a great tour. That one's 3 hours, correct? We're gonna check.
We're gonna check our fact person over here.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Okay, a little bit more dealable, not the whole day thing.
Did you on the bus though, when they said we're going on a 3-hour tour, instantly think Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, she just said that
I
to
just
me.
said that.
Yeah.
So you weren't listening,
No,
were you?
No, he was reading it that time.
He's researching
doing-
for us
he's doing
because
his job.
we're not fully informed.
And
That's
that
all.
tour used to have lunch. I guess it doesn't anymore. Or if they take you to Amorette's Bakery in Disney Springs, and you either decorate a macaroon or a cookie, and you can't eat it. I know that for a fact.
So do I.
We ate it. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
we didn't make Christmas macaroons. We made unicorns.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have the Christmas stuff out. But
Well, because that's the thing right now. Because as you know, Disney has all these trendy trend stuff going on, trendy trends, and like the millennial pink and the rose gold, and now everything's all iridescent and unicorn. So we got to make unicorns.
it was fun.
It was fun. But yeah, you get to do that on the tour, and yeah, so going to Amorette's is part of it, and it's kind of fun because it's just kind of neat to see how they do that.
They do show you again that holiday services building, and you see how organized. It'll say Polynesian Christmas, or it'll say poinsettias, spelled wrong. I caught that. I was like, that doesn't look like...
He elbows me and he's like, "Hey,
They spelled poinsettias wrong.
did they spell poinsettias? Is there a T in that word?" And my mother was a school teacher, so and I'm just like, "No, they spelled that wrong."
I make plenty of mistakes, and if they're not my mistakes, I don't like them if they're not my mistakes. There was no alcohol served on this tour. But everything, there's literally a box. It's like, do you need 12-inch poinsettias, 8-inch poinsettias, and they're as more organized than your closet at home for Christmas could ever be.
And they have these big rows. It looks like Michael's or Hobby Lobby on steroids. Like you pull out this big thing and it's craft bins.
It's like a Harry Potter library. Yeah.
It is, but with crafting stuff. What did I tell you? I said I wish I had a hot glue gun and I could just go through.
I'm sure they had it there.
It is like bins of stuff. Like in one bin it was all like Nemo ornaments.
Yep.
And then like another bin was all like holiday berry stuff. So what they do
Halle Berry was not
those berries. So and then they had like bows.
Yes.
Like a thing of bows. So like I'm guessing that if they're gonna make a wreath or something, they go and they pull out to these bins. Okay, I need a bow for over here, and I need this and that. I would love to have like an afternoon there and be able to make stuff.
Didn't they also show us the people doing the flowers and stuff there?
That was the other. We went to another building.
Okay, but that was still part of Yuletide Fantasy.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're on the same tour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was amazing. Again, they have this freezer, a big freezer, still not as big as I thought it would be.
I thought it would be a lot bigger than it was.
It was
Wait,
as big
let's
as this
tell them
kitchen.
what we're talking about
I'm
first.
sorry, Yuletide Fantasy.
No, we're talking about a
You're
freezer.
still at the warehouse right now.
Okay, there's a different place that we got to go.
It looked the same as that building.
It's where they make the gifts that people can
for
order
gifts, like
flowers
personalized
or
gifts,
whatever.
flower arrangements,
If
stuff
you
like
want
that.
to send something to somebody in their room, stuff like that.
Jimmy Horn said hi, Panda.
Hey, Jimmy. Troublemaker, that guy.
So yeah, we got to see them making. There was an event, and they were making these. It was a Mickey glove, and they were putting stuff like centerpieces. That's what I'm.
That was a wedding, right?
Was
Because
that a
there
wedding?
was gloves everywhere, and they all were making the centerpieces. I just couldn't believe that they order, flowers from Thailand. They come in a box. They go in this freezer, but they weren't like if you order from 1-800-Flowers. These were pristine, perfect flowers.
Thank you, Carolyn. She said I need to be on camera with you guys.
You could have. You want to pull up the chair?
here.
No.
He's like, no, I don't want to. But yeah, so like if somebody's having an event, whether they said a wedding or a birthday or whatever the occasion, they can pretty much make you an arrangement for whatever.
Right, they're not buying that arrangement anywhere. They're getting the pieces, and there is a team of people to construct it.
Very talented.
And they are really talented.
Did you see the Stitch mug? There was a mug.
Oh, yes, with his ears.
And they had a Stitch, and then they put flowers that looked like Hawaii.
Yes.
I mean, they had like an orange flower and...
The best one was the Mickey. Did you see the little Mickey coffee cup, which was his legs and his Mickey shorts?
Yes.
The topiary, basically.
And now, bigger than that, you could theme up any party you wanted. Money is the only obstacle. But let's say money was no object and you wanted to have a haunted mansion birthday for yourself. You could do it. They have a mansion, walls of the mansion, hitchhiking ghost characters that come in. I mean, you can just
even like the smoke machines and the whole thing. No, but did you notice they didn't tell us even what those parties start at as a amount?
Oh, there was a Alice in Wonderland party they showed us. The doorknob was a puppet that spoke to the people.
How it was being made.
That has to start at like 40. I mean, they fabricated this.
Yeah.
Puppets.
Can you imagine?
No.
I mean, like we're walking away and I'm like, I want a party.
Me too.
I want a party.
I bet you they say for $5,000 you can get this. For 50, going up to 50,000 for 100,000 because there's corporations that can get these themed parties. That was amazing.
Okay, so I'm a Haunted Mansion fan, so I'm going to go back to that for a second. That to me looked really elaborate. I mean, they had it looked like the wire gates like the iron gates to like a cemetery, and then they had like the headstones, and then they had cast members, I would guess, that looked like the butlers from the mansion, and then they had like the sculptures and the fog machines.
They reminded me more of the ballroom scenes because they had the dust on them to make them look like they were.
And things are custom. If you said to them, "I want a Madame Leota character in a globe to greet my guests on the way in," they will find a way to do that.
It's funny because they look dusty.
They did look. They purposely made them look dusty.
But what they look like in the Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yes.
That's how
they did look like I want to know how much that would cost to have a party. We didn't have a party.
Go find
we could do. We could have a meetup party where everybody pays $20 for a ticket and then afford whatever we figure out.
You think wearing a Madame Leota green for $20 a person?
No. I could dress up as Madame Leota and greet you for $20 a person.
I want a party.
But we could do it where you get, you have a little bit of Haunted Mansion desserts, you have a couple of drinks. It's like a meet and greet, have a character or two, and we figure out what the cost is based on how many people we think would come.
Maleficent.
Would anybody pay to
and
come
the
to our
Wicked Queen.
party?
Let us know.
Like a
I would do that.
Oh my god.
We did get to do the party last year that Spooky Empire put on at the studios. We got to ride the tower with just me and Michelle in it. And we met the Queen of Hearts. We met Maleficent, the Evil Queen, and Oogie Boogie.
Wow.
It was awesome.
It was just at the Tower of Terror. They had desserts, character things, and you could ride the tower as much as you wanted. So it was just that corner of the park.
Did you ever go to the villain party when they had it on Sunset, whatever, behind?
No, do you remember the...
So good.
Do you remember the summer I moved here? You're like, I'm going to this villains thing. I'm going to send you video.
Yes.
And then you sent me video, and you're like, you might not want this video. I don't remember why. I don't know if it was one of the villain show. Was something happened?
I know you got me the park man.
It was like awful.
Oh no, that one was bad. Was that the one in the studios?
Yes.
Not the party, not the park party. This was a separate ticket, like a dinner party in the building. The Sunset.
Oh,
building.
I know what you're talking about.
Because that was no good. That one where you couldn't get to see a character. I'm sorry, we're getting off of holiday. We need to come back to Christmas.
Yeah, but we do want a party. Like, would anybody want to come to
Everybody
our
wants a party.
Does anybody want to come to our party? Because
I remember I priced it out about $20 a person with one drink, like a rum swizzle, and desserts was doable, and it was a big party. We'll talk.
And Jared, you're right. I spoke to Gina, who owns it. They're not doing it this year.
yeah, they're not doing the spooky party this year, but it was a really fun party. I think I think for a lot of these events, I know that what the feedback that I get, like whether it be like the villains thing or they do like the separate Christmas stuff, they're looking for a lot of value for their money, and I think part of with the spooky party, it was an expensive ticket, but it was such a short party. I want to say it was like an hour and a half.
I think it was 100 people. I think it was 2 hours and it was 100 people.
There's a balance between profit and what you can give.
It was it was a great idea, but it was a very expensive. It was too much, but it was a great idea. So anyway,
Are we allowed to go overtime and go? Can we talk about very Merry Christmas? Or are we still on Yuletide Fantasy?
No, we can keep talking. You guys don't care, right? No, they don't care.
Corey has a comment.
Okay, what?
Corey said he's never had a Haunted Mansion party, but he did stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Same thing.
Well, then you've pretty much been in the Haunted Mansion.
Same thing. Or like a red.
The only thing is, the Haunted Mansion that's staged, Holiday Inn is not.
Correct. Holiday Inn, they just let it go.
We just lost sponsorship from Holiday Inn.
I stayed in a haunted Best Western one time in Michigan.
Stop it.
I thrilled it. Oh, that's my dog snorting. It
She
wasn't
said it
us.
went to Best Western, I heard.
Yes, it was a haunted Best Western.
Paula says she'll come to a party.
Okay, Paula will come to our party.
We got one.
We got one! Woo! This is
Right
amazing.
now,
With our rum
the
swizzles.
ticket price is $12,000 a person.
You get one little tiny cupcake and
As
like
we add people, the price goes down. Paula, 12,000 for you right now.
Get the Entenmann's brown
Get a
rice.
friend, 6,000 each. See how this
We'll get
works?
an Entenmann's coffee cake.
Entenmann's. As a kid, I used to say since 1939. I'd be like, Mom, that's old cake.
It's old cake.
Uh,
Oh my god.
And we apologize for the Holiday Inn Express. It was just a joke.
No, we're not making fun of hotels.
no, we like Holiday Inn.
Okay, so
Well, you just lost hers and you.
no, okay.
La Quinta.
You
That's where
can
we
bring
stay.
your dog. I love that.
Jack is free, so that's why we
And
Oh,
you get
right.
free breakfast in the
Remember
morning.
Disney was doing that? Oh, that ended pretty quick. Okay. Are we
So
still,
anyway,
are we still
okay,
Yuletide fantasy?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
We're going into fantasy. The shit.
Yuletide fantasy now.
I don't know where we're at. Okay, how
Okay,
about...
so you guys left the room where they made the trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did the
At that
flowers.
point,
so
we did the
from
flowers,
The
yeah.
flowers, the gifts, they made the bags that they would put the person's name on them. And
Right, right.
And then we got back on the bus and we went over to Disney Springs.
And that's where we did Amorette's
Yes,
cookie
we had
thing.
trivia on the bus.
Right.
All the way over there.
The bus ride, by the way, is not just a bus ride. These are all Adventures by Disney tours now. I think they control.
They are
them, right?
Adventures by
So
Disney.
you get
Mazda.
amazing pins, limited pins that you can only get on the tour.
Yep.
I think the pin itself is probably worth. When I say this, I'm not suggesting to sell it, but if you saw this pin on eBay, it's got to be like a $30, $40 pin.
But you might want to eBay.
No. I'm a pin collector, but I'm saying to somebody who wants
But
to
we
see
get two.
this, that's right. To somebody who wants to see the value in these tours, these are limited.
Yeah, you
really
do get
nice
a you get a
pins.
present. So
And it was just cool. And on the bus, they're showing you the Disney Enchanted fireplace.
you get to watch a fireplace.
But
It's
if
got
you
a-
watch closely,
It's
you'll
a
see the
special
up
fireplace.
balloons and a whole bunch of things. Hello, Andrew.
The little aliens.
I saw an alien in the corner.
Mary Poppins goes by right over the fireplace. The fire gets her. She dies. She comes. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
No.
Well, it's been a great show. Thank you for
Practically
joining in.
perfect.
Michelle Bear, yes, we're going to be at Tampa Bay Con in August. She was asking.
Okay. So, but okay, I have a dumb question.
Go
I
ahead.
probably should have asked you this ahead of time too. We'll just ignore us for a second. Okay, so we had like the turkey and holiday food.
Yeah, I don't know if they get that. I don't know.
Now, I thought they said
No,
something
they don't.
about.
That was no, because you got to remember the tour ended when we got off the bus.
Right,
Oh.
right,
That
right,
was the
right.
media, so they could tell us what was coming to the park.
I will tell you that media dinner was fantastic, and I don't like Thanksgiving food.
It was
It
awesome.
was good though.
That turkey was incredible. Sorry, it was just really good.
They
Like mashed
gave us like turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and rolls.
They could have given me a red Solo cup of corn dogs, and I would have thought, "Oh, thank you. This was great."
And here, you know, I'm really trying to behave as far as my carb eating. And like, what did they give us? Mashed potatoes, stuffing.
And they're not like powdered mashed potatoes. I know.
So good.
Jimmy just said you called him the troublemaker. You just killed Mary Poppins.
Jimmy, you're a little behind. She died a long time ago.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. So
Somebody said John.
okay.
Hey, Mom
So
said hi, Shell.
oh hi mom.
Hi, Ma.
So my mom always tunes in. Hi mom.
Is Dad watching? I hope.
He
haven't
usually
seen
catches
him
up
yet.
later. He'll like text me like at 10:30. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm just now watching your show." I'm like, "That's okay."
That's very supportive for an hour show. That's nice.
Yeah.
You should give him a quiz and see how.
We're at an hour and 2 minutes already.
We're doing awesome. We're
You know
okay.
what? There's still 100
They're still
people here.
watching.
Might as well stay.
Now,
no
if-
salads. Robert
Yeah,
has
no
made a
salads.
salad.
If we were down to like 30 people, we would.
Okay.
I still getting about 100. or
Okay,
That's
so,
the
and
number.
like I told you before, this number is, we'll talk about that later. Okay, anyway, so you don't get mashed potatoes and turkey, so I was wrong there.
Okay, let's talk about the party. If we're done with Yuletide Fantasy.
We are, but I wanted to mention one thing, which I thought was cool.
You didn't get the price either.
Oh, I think I remember what it was.
Hey Scott, do you happen to know how much these tours cost?
Which one would you like to?
You
Both,
lay it on
please.
us.
Let's start with Delights.
Delights is $279
Okay.
per person.
$279.
That includes Whispering
Pin 6
Canyon.
hours Whispering Canyon.
Yes, and you get to see. I'm sure you get priority seating for the.
You
professional.
do get priority seating for Candlelight Processional, and that is a good thing because it's so busy every night.
Andrew, move that candle.
Andrew, you're gonna set your
from,
shirt
no, from
on
the
fire.
magazine, please. I just think
Just
it's
move
too
that.
close.
Sorry.
Move it this way, it dropped. I see a
Sorry.
candle.
I have a
too close
candle
to
lit, and
paper.
he doesn't want the
Smells
kitchen to
great.
blow up.
And
Okay.
so that's 6 hours, like you said, lunch.
Yeah,
How much
6
is the Yuletide Fantasy?
Yuletide Fantasy is 139, 3.5 hours, and you get to go to Emirates and make your own.
And that's-
And make macaroons, so.
You know,
And I think they did take. I think you did get discounts if you're annual pass holder or DVC member. I believe
Yes.
they said that.
I don't know if you can book it through a travel agent. Not sure.
I think you have to call Disney Direct for these, don't you?
I think
Because
so.
they had given us there was a number and a website.
For
that you
other
would get.
adventures by Disney, you can book them through your travel
Yeah,
agent.
it says here call for reservations.
Okay.
At, 407 WW Tour.
I will say that the Delights tour interested me personally more.
Yes.
Of course, it's more expensive and it's longer.
Yes.
But if I had a choice, that's the first one I'd go to. If you can stomach that price, I would do it.
And
It is
somebody
worth
asked,
it.
does the $279 include admission? I would assume it does include admission to get you an Epcot that day.
It's got to be. They leave. I
Because
would
you're going
assume
to
they leave.
processional, you have to get an Epcot. So.
And they're going to leave you after that or whatever time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. Have
Yeah. I would assume. So, okay.
You're also going to see things, if you're a Disney fan, that you will never be able to see any time else. So it's not like, oh, how else can we do this less expensive?
There's no way.
You can't, because you're going to go to these backstage areas and you're going to see things on how Disney puts all these amazing decorations and parties and events. You get to see how they put all this stuff together.
And we should mention they have speakers that come who are from that event. So the person that does the fireworks will come and speak to you and answer questions. It's not just the Adventures by Disney tour guide.
No, and then they'll give you like the earpiece because it's kind of loud in the warehouses.
I love that earpiece. We should talk about that real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Adventures by Disney gives you this, it's an earpiece with a
You
receiver.
get a little receiver, but you don't want to wait to go too far back from your tour guide because it gets staticky.
What I like about it is it goes over one ear, sits securely, and you still hear everything else around you, so you don't feel like if a car beeps that I'm going to miss it. You're still very aware of the present. So
And
I
they
like that.
stop. They will actually, as you're walking through the warehouses and through the and they're telling you things, they'll actually stop and pause to see if anybody has any questions in case you're not fully understanding everything that's going on or you want more information. It is really informative, and I really think that the guides and such that give the information are so thorough. It's fascinating. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. The only thing I wish I have my reporter hat on all the time, and I get like real twitchy because I so wish I could take a picture because I want like you guys to see what I'm seeing. I'm so used to sharing, and so are you with video. Like I wish you guys could see
Like
this.
when we
ever notice
drove past the construction site for Tron.
Yeah, Scott's taking pictures of the dirt.
We did. So did you.
You know what though?
Both of you
Well,
did. I
the truth is though, it's not interesting to anyone because it's
No.
like a dirt mound. But I do want to rent a bus now as Tron gets built to see what it is.
We saw dirt where Tron is going to go.
We just saw how big the area is for Tron.
Yeah, you can't.
I gotta lose weight for going Tron, I think.
Yeah, it looks.
It's not like Slinky Dog, we could just have a bonbon.
Slinky Dog is very roomy and cozy.
It is.
Somebody
think-
just asked if the tours for 16 and older, and I can't remember. The website just says teens and adults.
The one where we were in Amorette's said 13 and older,
I thought 13 too. Mm-hmm.
And then they said that they don't check ID. So if you know you have a rambunctious 14-year-old, you probably shouldn't do it. If you have a 12-year-old that's mature and would enjoy that type of thing, do it.
Yeah, because it's very
That's
low
what they
key.
were
It's
hinting.
it's almost like a school field trip where you have to walk and be quiet and listen
have to
and
stand in one spot.
if your child would not hold attention or they would rather go do rides and stuff like
Right.
that. It's one of those. It's very informative. Let's say that.
I don't know if I would do it if it was my first trip to Disney. There's so much to do that I wouldn't. If a kid came for the first time to Disney, I wouldn't be taking them on a tour to see inside,
No.
Not for that
backstage
money
and
to see
stuff.
that
No,
they're not going to care about. 'cause
Second,
they don't
third
understand
trip.
the Disney magic yet.
But you know what? The Tron Dirt was kind of cool.
Tron Dirt.
Tron Dirt. Because
Sad.
hashtag Tron Dirt.
As soon as you get past
Make it a
Mountain,
thing.
it's all area.
Hashtag. Hold on. Yeah. Tron Dirt.
Hashtag Tron Dirt.
Iridescent dirt.
So
I still don't understand when they build something new. Who starts the digging? Okay, we're gonna start right here. Is gonna be the roller coaster.
right here.
I don't get it.
We're gonna dig right here. But yeah, so okay, because we are Disney locals and it is our job to report things and we live and breathe this stuff. When we're on a bus and we see dirt for Tron, we're like,
We can't get this vantage point.
But I guarantee you, on Instagram, you would have so many likes on that.
You would. As long as, and we really aren't ruining the magic with that one. But
no, it's dirt.
That's
but
exciting.
we knew what it was, and that's why it was
And it was
exciting.
a vantage point on a bus higher up that we're not used to seeing. So.
No, and you can't go back there. And they will tell you over the loudspeakers, this is the backstage area, no photos.
Worth mentioning, Toy Story Land is getting decorated for Christmas.
They are.
You know, they already have Christmas lights up.
Yeah, but that's a normal thing, right? All the time. Yeah. So it really adds to it. Just all they have to do is add a wreath, and it looks like they did more than they really did.
But didn't he say they were going to do some overlays over some of the characters too, and possibly the meet and greets were going to be a little bit
Yes,
different?
and I know the alien swirling saucers will get music, different holiday music.
Like Christmas music?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about really quick too. Was because we were talking about the heartbreak of Hollywood Studios at Christmas time because of no more Osborne lights. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam is going to be back for the 3rd year with lasers. No. Lasers are going to be off the Tower of Terror this year.
Right. Oh yes, not
Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam is the thing on the theater.
The Chinese theater.
Right.
Down the street where the tower is, Sunset. There's Sunset Seasons. Is that what they called it last year?
I think it was Sunset
I think
Seasons.
so, yeah.
I always get that
The little
confused.
animation interstitials.
They're putting lasers.
You're not doing it.
Lasers
There
like
you
Dr.
go.
Evil.
But there are lasers, so there shouldn't be in quotes. They are
No,
lasers.
like Dr. Evil,
Oh, okay.
you know, lasers.
But there's lasers going both ways. There's lasers going epic.
By the way, can we just talk about how hard it is for Disney to do lasers? I thought Disney buys a laser and they put it in the show. No. It has to be reported to, was it
FAA?
FAA. I've been saying FDA.
FDA.
The Food and Drug Administration
needs to know about those
needs
lasers.
to know. Okay, so the FAA, they have to have an origination point, a termination point, how high it is, how low it is. I was just like, oh. And if a laser goes astray, for some reason, they got to report it right away.
And they have to be able to shut it down like that.
Shut it down fast with a kill switch. It's a whole thing. In any event, that's cool. And Tom Vizana, the show director, says, does anybody know what happens when we do the snow and the lasers? And nerdy me goes, it lights up the snow! Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
They didn't even know that until they showed the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam with the lasers and the snow, how the snow reacts to the lasers.
It's like they're like snow like sparkles in the laser.
It becomes iridescent.
It's very, very cool. And iridescent is the thing right now, so it all goes well together. And don't eat that snow, by the way. It's soap. And then
without the eye sting, though.
Oh yeah.
Because it's gone in my eye. I'm like, oh, for soap, there's no tears.
Yeah.
But the lasers, they had said, do you remember him saying this? That it looks like the lasers are going up, but they're actually going down.
Yeah.
It's all like weird perception.
Right. To us on the thing, we always think the lasers are going up. For some reason, they go down. I only thought they went wherever you point. If you point it straight, doesn't it go straight?
Like a laser pointer.
I guess eventually it has a tendency to go down. This is
It's
something.
all science. I don't know.
So that's so Sunset Seasons will now be better. It'll snow on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
Is that what that is? Hollywood Boulevard? Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard. Thank you. Hollywood Boulevard is the other one?
Hollywood Boulevard is, yes.
Okay.
We are so glad we have Scott as
Yeah.
our fact person.
And yeah, so that'll be a nice thing, I think, in the studios.
Yeah, so they're gonna add more to what they got going on by the Tower of Terror.
And next Christmas, you'll have Star Wars.
Yeah.
Before we even think about that, somebody asked if there would be new animations, and the director said you can't open up all your gifts all at once, so there will be new animations on the Tower of Terror. Even though they didn't confirm it, they kind of did, but they wouldn't tell us what they were.
They
They
confirmed it by
wouldn't.
not confirming.
They confirmed it by their reaction. Like, when they asked, remember the guy went, can I tell them? And the guy, no.
Can I tell
So-
them? And then somebody made a joke like, "What? You're not gonna? You don't trust this group of people with?"
Do you remember the next
news?"
question what I asked? Is, does anybody have any other questions? Yes. What kind of new
Yeah.
animation are you going to have?
We're not going to talk
Kind
about
of
that
new
right now.
animation.
What kind of new
We
animation?
won't. You're in a room with a bunch of journalists and people that are in the media jobs. So like, oh, we won't say.
Do you know what I will
anything.
say, though? And I'm not dissing anyone at all who's a professional journalist, but because we're Disney nuts, we care so much more about the information than maybe some of the others. I'm sure there are others just like us, but some people are literally there for a job, like from a news place. You know, CBS, Disney's doing this. Later on, they'll go somewhere else. Because we live and breathe it and love it, it's so important to us. And I think they notice that.
Yeah.
Because we're like, new, oh, that's new. Oh,
Like,
look
oh
at
my
that.
God, I'm
Where
so
other people are just like,
excited.
And they like to quiz us.
they do like to quiz us.
They do.
Like talking about the horse stables.
Oh, the horse. We forgot about horses.
Well, that's okay. It's Halloween. Is it worth mentioning? Because I.
But he also talked about
The
Christmas.
sleigh rides. There's sleigh
Oh, the
rides
sleigh
too
rides,
that start
yes.
around Thanksgiving.
I do have a.
Do we have?
No, I posted the picture from there. If you want me to read this, hold on.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. You can sing Christmas carols. Andrew,
Okay,
would you like to
okay.
make a appearance?
The Holiday Sleigh Ride says Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground starts November 23rd, ends December 30th. They are 5:10 p.m. It starts. $84 per sleigh. Accommodates 4 adults or 2 adults and 3 small children. Includes limited edition pin per reservation. You're getting 1 pin for 4 people.
Forever.
I see fights. If you have kids,
Give me that pin.
imagine if I had a brother or sister, they'd be like,
I was confused when they first told us about it because it said $84. I didn't know it was $84 a person.
no, per sleigh, yeah.
I know, because it's not unheard of.
That would be, yeah. Isn't it weird the way some things, the pricing is horrible, and others are like, oh, that's reasonable. Like, even on merchandise, I've lifted things up and I'm like, wow, that's only $14, that's great. And then other things you're like, I thought that would be $100, not $700.
Yeah, I could totally do the sleigh ride for $84 for all of us to
Correct.
go. But not a
25
person.
minutes it lasts. You call 407-WDW-PLAY to make an advance reservation.
That would be so.
But while you're talking about the sleigh for Christmas, why don't you talk about what happens for Halloween?
Okay, have you done it?
Not yet.
Okay. I did it last year. It is the best $22 I ever spent. I don't know if you're into this, but for Halloween, you go to Fort Wilderness and you go to the Circle D Ranch. It is hot still sometimes because it was like the beginning of October. Or was it? I don't know if I went. I might have went in September. It was still hot.
It's still hot at
It was
Halloween.
muggy. The horses were around. It was dark. It was spooky. There was haze and everything. And you do a Headless Horseman Sleepy Hollow experience, I think it's called. So you sit down and watch the short. They have a screen in there. And the short was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which I think is about 20 minutes, I'm going to say.
The one with Ichabod and all.
Ichabod
The one
Crane.
that
Is it
showed
the
us
old,
the
like
show.
the old style?
Old
thing?
style.
Yeah, okay.
There is a video. I'm going to plug BigFatPanda.com has a video on this if you want. If you don't want to see it because you're going to ruin it or you're going to go, don't watch the video.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
At the end, the screen lifts up, the door opens, and you hear, and there he is. And it's your own personal meet and greet. Nobody's rushing you. Take a great picture with the Headless Horseman, and then you get a limited pin. I tell you, for $22, I got the experience of the spookiness. I got to see the short in Disney. I got to meet and take a picture with the Headless Horseman, and then everybody in your party gets the pin.
I want to do that.
The pin itself could have been $12, $13.
Heck yeah.
Now there's 3 different experiences.
Right. I think it starts at $22.
22, then there's one 38.
38 is just a little bit closer up front, which honestly you don't need.
And then for 60,
And then for 60 you get a dessert
dessert
party.
party with the Headless Horseman.
Get out.
With
Look
that
at the
Horseman
game.
in the blacksmith.
CD just
I don't
throws
know.
In the blacksmith
He can't eat.
room, right?
and you hear,
There's somebody in there hungry. He
He
threw it
gives
right in
it
his
to the
stomach.
horse.
He throws it right in his stomach.
who's summons the name of the horse?
Huh?
What'd
No,
you
he
say?
throws it in his head. It goes into his stomach.
Oh, I thought you said the summit. I was
I
like, you know,
can't.
the
No,
name of
a
the horse.
dessert party with the Headless Horseman. He can't eat.
Yeah, $60 per person for the dessert party one. So it includes.
So
everything
it's a lot of
John
fun.
said.
I wouldn't lose your head over it. That's bad.
Okay, this show, wrap it up.
Give desserts to the horse. No, I'm kidding. You don't. No, please don't give cupcakes to the horse.
Throw it in the neck hole. That's
You're really
what
flipping.
I'm talking about.
Put it in the neck hole.
That's what I was saying. You throw it in the neck hole, goes right to the stomach.
Oh my God, that's awful.
There's no teeth to slow it down.
That's awful. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that does sound like a good time. Okay, before we wrap up our crazy little show,
Before we wrap this gift up.
wrap
Christmas
it up
wrap
like
it.
a Christmas present. Does anybody have any questions that we did not cover? I mean, I know we covered quite a wide
Who's in
variety of
Scott's
things.
seat? Where is Scott at? We miss Scott.
Oh, shut up!
Oh, he's lying.
He's lying.
I believed it at
first. You're such a liar.
Somebody type it, please.
What'd you say?
Somebody type it.
Somebody type it.
We have to say bacon for someone. Just say, I have no way to
You
put
did
it
talk about bacon.
talked about
We-
bacon.
we
You said
did.
you like bacon,
You
but
said
not
you
ham.
didn't like ham, but
Oh,
you like
I
bacon.
didn't even realize that I did it. Good.
See, and that was way
Good.
earlier in the show.
Bacon. Good.
You covered your bacon. So, I guess people are still watching, but nobody has any questions.
Come on. No.
Okay,
it's because it's
again-
delayed.
Again, somebody said, are we going to Tampa Bay Con? We are.
Yes.
Did you get a panda hug, Michelle?
I always
Yes.
Where is Scott? Somebody did say, where's Scott?
do. Okay.
Suzanne said she misses me.
Okay, Suzanne.
So Cheryl and Suzanne so far won.
Everybody's giving you like mercy compliments over there because you said I miss Scott. Where's Scott?
I was just a joke.
Scott will be back. One day, if you ever want me back, I can come back with you and just sit in the middle. And
we just need another
jabber
chair.
jaw.
We just need another chair.
Just don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Joe said it. I can't.
No, there is definitely a room at our little table here. Oh, this is usually.
I thought it was the headless horseman.
No,
Sack said she
usually.
got a hug from Panda at the Easter parade.
Did you really? That's cool. Thank you. We'll do that again.
Lori Jennings Sapp. We know Lori.
Lori Jennings Sapp.
Yes.
I'm such a sap for
Sloth loves Scott. That's a Goonies reference from you.
From the Goonies.
Sloth
More
loves
was on today.
80s
I
reference.
was looking through the channels. Goonies was on today.
It was?
Yeah.
No, usually during the shows I'm talking with this, and I didn't do that today because I had you to
And
help.
just worth mentioning, because I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but my sister was asking me, Disney After Hours, which we went to.
Yes, we did.
It really was empty. I mean, they told me there was 3,000 people there. I felt like there was 3. And I'm not doing my jokey thing. I felt like there was no one there. Oh, we'll do that.
Oh, we'll
yes.
talk about that before we go too.
But when you go for the Christmas party, behind the castle, it is empty. Not as empty as Disney After Hours, but if you're on Main Street, which is all these shows and stuff, it's still fairly crowded.
Do you know for After Hours, you know what it kind of felt like since we were talking about parties earlier? Like if I were ever rich, or if we were combined rich and we threw a party together, and we could like rent the Magic Kingdom.
Even if it was 2,000 people at $100,
Yes.
that would be what, 200?
But
200,000?
I don't know math, but anyway.
You can do that. It's close to the house.
But no, what I'm saying is that
I know.
if you go to these after hours parties, it almost feels as though they closed down the park for you.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I was with my family in the Bear Jamboree. It was just us, no one else. And I was like, that's just weird. Is it worth it for them to activate that show
Yes,
for just us?
but they do, because we talked about this last week, but we rode Pirates with nobody with an empty boat in front and an empty boat in back. Same
Did that
thing.
feel spookier though?
It did. And you know what else was weird? Splash Mountain with the empty logs in front and in the back.
Yeah.
It almost feels weird to go on these rides
It was great.
by yourself. It's kind of eerie to have nobody there, but it's also cool because, I don't know if you noticed, when you're on these rides by yourself, you hear more. Like, you hear more sound effects in the mansion. Like, things you don't normally
I know
hear.
if you're in the stretching room, the
They
creaks.
whisper.
Yeah, the gargoyles whisper.
They say, like,
I
"Go."
thought I was going crazy.
No, they whisper. Then they tell you, like, get out.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
at the end after everybody leaves. Like, why are they still in here?
They're like, get out.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
That's
But
a beautiful sweater you're
But
wearing.
then they yell at you, move your bodies.
Well, the tiki
Moving
birds say
on.
you've had enough enchantment for one day to get out, or they used to, but it was Iago.
Because
yeah.
he's mean.
Yeah.
But even like on Splash Mountain, like you hear more. Like we were in the area like where like the frogs are, and you hear like the frogs croaking, and
You
know,
hear the rabbit
Yeah.
that's sweeping.
you can hear
talking.
the sweeping of the rabbit that
Okay, I
cleans
gotta
the
look
floor.
because there's less people chattering. That makes
Yes,
sense,
you
yeah.
hear so much more with nobody else on the
That
ride.
makes a lot of sense.
And
I
all
didn't
the banter, like in Pirates and such, like sometimes you can't hear all the stuff that they're saying, but when you're on that ride by yourself, you hear everything. I really think it's worth it to do after hours because, like you said, it's like you're by yourself.
We were buying the tickets for $119. Did not realize there is an annual pass holder discount
For
for
like
$89.
Worth it.
I just didn't know that because I thought they wanted a limit because there's no child's price.
Right.
So I thought, oh, they don't want people to come in unless you're going to pay the premium.
Right.
But for $89, people will say, well, I could go for a whole day for that. You see more in that 3 hours.
Yeah.
than
And actually, you
you
get
can.
6 because you can go from 7.
Yes.
Until
Yeah, you
Okay,
can go
but we
early.
made the mistake. If we're still talking and it's okay.
They're still watching. So
We
keep going.
went in, and it was like at 10:20. We were like fish traveling upstream.
It was hard to get back there.
So it really didn't start till 10:30. But the trick is, if you can get in at 7:30, get behind the castle, let people watch the fireworks. If you don't have to see Happily Ever After, by the time your 10 o'clock spot comes,
You're good.
it's empty and you're good.
And
Yeah, we're doing it
never
again.
Ride at least once.
You know,
Oh.
and another thing too is that we talked about this too, but since we have still a lot of people watching,
Awesome.
the thing is like what we had said before is in the summertime it's so hot and crowded and everything else. You can do in that 3-hour window probably more rides than you would do all day in the heat and crowds. I mean, because you can go on these rides back to back and you walk right on.
Yep.
You know, not to mention the snacks and stuff you get.
The Splash Mountain, to walk on Splash Mountain, go over and over, that was awesome. Oh, and they still give you water, soda, and ice cream and popcorn. Mm-hmm. And not just the one type of ice. There's like other ice pops.
Yeah, there was like
you can have whatever.
My stepbrother had 5 of them, and I'm like, where you get? He just one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have whatever ice cream they offered at that stand.
And there was no line because there's no money exchanging. So people are just going up and saying, can I have this? Can I have this? So
yeah, could I have a Mickey's premium bar?
And then people just
the lines for the food I thought were longer than the rides.
Yeah, the food lines were longer than
I didn't even see food. Was there?
No,
I mean like the snack food.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
The lines for those always need a little bit longer.
Because people are deciding. Skinny people, they decide.
Just give me one of everything.
We're just like, can I have some ice cream, please?
You don't have to decide, skinny
just give me
people.
Some ice
just
cream.
Take it and move.
Don't judge us.
That's from a comedian.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Seriously, though, you go up there and let's say you go to this booth and you decide to get a ice cream sandwich, and then you decide, oh shoot, I should have got the premium bar, and the next walk up you can get the premium bar. I mean, if you really want to.
Okay, Disney merchandise.
If
anybody left, come back. Although wait,
did
if
ask
you
about
left,
the Haunted Mansion ears, if you could mention that.
You wouldn't be back, so you wouldn't know.
Okay, well, let me talk, since somebody asked about Haunted Mansion ears, let me get you.
They look great.
They do.
Awesome.
And again, like we just.
Those.
So if we ever have a Haunted Mansion party, we have to have the ears.
We should have a Halloween show.
Oh my god, so fun. Okay, so this is the lowdown on the Haunted Mansion ears, because I have friends who work at Disney and tell me these things. So this year, the Halloween stuff is already coming in merchandising. In addition to the Halloween goodies, like usually your decoration and all your fun stuff, they have a Haunted Mansion line coming in with it. Now, I don't know full specifics as to what exactly is coming, but if you guys read the blog yesterday, you saw that there are 3 new ears coming. One of them is the actual hat that has the Hatbox Ghost, which is really cool.
I'm going to the blog right now.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw 3.
They have like one that has like the Haunted Mansion wallpaper in the ears, and then the other one looks like the ballerina on the tightrope with the umbrella. It's a nod to that. Those are coming soon. I got that verified this morning that they are coming. And as soon as I find out when they are, because
after we buy ours,
after I go get myself a pair, but I do. You know, it's so hard because I keep accumulating ears and I can't possibly wear them all.
You can wear a different pair every week.
I know. I have some that have the tags on them still. Isn't that awful? I just buy them because I like them.
We could give them away. They're a worn pair from Michelle.
Nobody cares. Nobody wants my ears. But yeah. Oh, that would be a good idea for a giveaway. You guys watch for that because we can do an ears giveaway.
We will buy those ears.
I will buy you a pair of Haunted Mansion ears and you can win them.
It's weird. I could watch this show, but I can't get to the website. That's just weird.
You're not on my Wi-Fi.
I know, but why would it work? The cell's working good for the show. So.
No, when are the holiday ears going on sale?
Okay,
Okay, so here's what they said about the Christmas merchandise because I asked.
And we saw some of it.
Yeah.
Great.
Stephen Miller was there, who does the merchandising for Walt Disney World. Everybody loves Stephen Miller. He actually gave us a presentation, and it's on our YouTube channel. We actually had a talk with him. He gave us the rundown for the Christmas merchandise. As you saw, we put out, and I'm sure you did too, the merchandise, the new Christmas Dooney. He said it was a Nordic look. Is that what he was saying?
Nordic pattern.
Yes.
I have a question for you. What have you done about that pattern?
Okay, so they have the Disney Dooney coming out. Now, we were kind of pressing him. He's so nice. You know, pressing him like, do you know when it's coming out? And he said no.
Wait, did he say that
He said fall.
should be soon?
He said, I will tell you, start watching mid to late October. And the reason for that is, from what he told me, was they weren't sure if people would want a expensive purse that you can only use for like a month and a half. So
that makes sense.
They're going to put them out a little bit earlier. So let's say November 1st, you want to pull out your $250 Christmas purse so you can get a little bit more use out of it, which is really a good idea. I mean, I'm a purse person, and I will tell you, I have not sprung for a Christmas Dooney, and it's for that reason.
Would you for that one?
I don't know, because, I mean, I love purses.
Did you like the icons that were in it?
I do, but...
I got a question for you.
Okay, go.
That pattern that they showed us, that
Yes.
Nordic pattern with the icons, it was tiki room stuff. Weren't you under the impression that would be used for more things than just the Dooney and Burke?
It is. It's on the table runner, and it's also on the plate set, I think.
Maybe a mug or something?
That's their whole theme this year.
Good.
It's
And
not
shirts
just the
will have it, I
Dooney.
think, as
Okay, so it's not just the dude. Good,
Yeah.
that's what I understood. It's a great little pattern. Do you have a photo of it?
I do.
With
It's
her?
got so many references to other icons in the park. It's amazing.
It's got different park icons on there. I have a picture on our Instagram page if you missed it.
It had the train.
It had a tiki bird.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to see that at all.
No, that's probably.
Yours moving.
It's only
Now
in
it's
the
Stephen
first
Miller, right?
couple of seconds, and then it goes away.
But it's on our Instagram too.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
But yeah, so that's the theme this year is the like the old fashioned like Nordic look. And then they have plates that are coming out, like plate sets.
Yes, but those are like really sleigh. Those I liked them because they were kind of classic.
Yeah.
It was Mickey and Minnie on a sleigh and
Yep.
stuff. They weren't cheesy or.
No.
They were
And he
not- they
said
were
the
classy.
reason was because they want to incorporate it in your normal Christmas dinnerware.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they last year they showed us a lot of ornaments, and this year they didn't.
There wasn't a lot
There
of
was just like
ornaments.
2 little ornaments. They showed pins that were coming out.
And what we saw was only a little bit. There's still more to come.
Yeah, he
Each
said that
resort
was.
will have their own ornament also.
Oh,
Yeah, see, he's paying attention.
he's paying more attention to
And
that.
then they have the ugly Christmas sweaters again this year. He had on a really cute
Was there
ugly Christmas.
Ugly
sweater.
Christmas sweater pins.
Yes.
Yes, there was.
That I like.
And then this year, instead of just your typical Christmas light necklaces that flash, it's like the actual bells. Did you see those
Yes,
that you
yes,
had
yes,
on?
yes.
And they jingle bells.
And there were 6 different light settings on that. On the screen.
Okay. Also, the plush. They usually do Disney
Like
babies, but
babies.
this is different. Instead
Like
of the
Christmas
babies,
babies.
like in the Papoose to Cuddle, these were like toddler, a little bit older babies.
Yeah, I think so.
And they were a little gray, but I kind of liked them anyway.
Mhm.
I'm just excited that you said papoose because I use that word and
Do you
nobody
really?
else uses it.
I think
yeah.
of the peas in the pot. Little papoose.
Yeah.
Is that an Indian term, I think?
I don't know.
I think it's like a Pocahontas thing. I don't know.
Native American.
I don't know anybody else but you that uses it because
Papoose.
everyone. Yes.
That's exactly. You know, did you see the little like Simba in the
Yeah,
papoose?
papoose.
You guys are live, just so you know. While you're having a moment, you're live. Just so you
See,
know.
I told him when he came over today, I'm like, let's just talk like we would if there's nobody here, and that's what you're getting. Because this is how
Pretty much, actually.
This is how we talk.
We
when
have
nobody's-
literally like 10 bullet points, but nothing.
And this is really good. I just
All right, what else are we missing that people are going to say you did a whole show and you didn't talk about this for Christmas?
what did we miss?
I don't know. We got the fireworks, we got the lights, we got the 2 tours, got pretty much the food. We don't know too much about food for Christmas.
They didn't tell
They
us.
didn't
much
really
about
talk
it.
about Christmas food.
No, I'm
They
sure
let
they
us
will.
try that little. It looked like a pumpkin roll, but it wasn't. It was some kind
It's
of.
like a maple
But
roll.
is that
It's a
something
maple-
they just made?
That's something that's coming to Epcot for the
Okay.
holiday, the Seasons Festival. It's one
Yeah,
of
it
those
was an
treats that's
Epcot
for
I
them.
wonder
thing.
if that cookie place is coming back. Do you remember that?
Oh, I would assume so. 'Cause
Okay.
That's a pretty successful.
I'm trying to think what else.
But you know that they're going to have different food places around World Showcase
Yes.
for the festival. They just didn't tell us what those are going to be yet.
Do you know what I miss?
What's that?
The Bear Jamboree used to get a Christmas overlay. And the whole show would change a little bit with Christmas songs. Do you remember that?
Was it still inappropriate?
Was it inappropriate? No. What?
No. What could
What did I do?
See,
No!
the Christmas, if you go watch the Country Bears and actually listen to what they say,
Oh, it's very inappropriate.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like,
Things,
what's it?
killing things, blood here and there.
Yes!
I don't remember the songs.
That's what I want to know. Was the holiday bears inappropriate too? Like the regular
they
bears?
probably are,
Kissing
but
under
we
that
don't
mistletoe.
see it. I don't know if anybody else remembers that. They could bring it back, and it was such a draw to get. It brought life back to the Bear
you know when
Jamboree.
it'll get back? When they say they're going to pull it out. That's when it'll get back.
That is true. Do you remember when they were
Every
closing the backlot tour at the studios? Nobody went on the backlot tour
used
until
to
it was
walk
going
on
to
that.
close. And then I remember that last
everybody's
couple weeks,
favorite last couple
everybody's
weeks,
like, you
yeah.
can't close the backlot tour. I mean, remember it was like people like crying about it.
Yes.
And it's like you people never even went on this until it's going to close. And that's what would happen if they did that with the Bears. But I
Or
think the
anything.
Bears are more
Bears are too
classic.
iconic.
They're
They
too
can't get rid of
iconic.
that. That would be
That's-
like Carousel Progress. That would
Scott,
be
do you think they'll ever do anything holiday-ish with Galaxy's Edge after it opens? I say no.
But there's a Christmas special Star Wars.
It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. George Lucas didn't have any part of it, and there's no. You
If
can't
it was
get-
horrible, I would think George Lucas did it.
You can't get a VHS. You can't get
It
anything.
like
on
proof
it
they didn't want
because-
anyone to have it.
I think I did see it. I know
Yeah,
it
it's
was
got
a
like
variety
Chewbacca's
show.
wife and
Yes.
child on it. His dad, I think, is in it.
It's like iconically bad. Like the only thing you ever hear about it is it's terrible.
But the best part of it, that's where Boba Fett was introduced.
Really?
The Christmas show?
There's a cartoon like segue in there, and that's where you see Boba Fett for the first time ever. Is in that?
Really?
Is in that?
Really?
I would like to see Pete as Boba Fett because he's always in the figures. Just come in. All All right, I know we're forgetting something, and I feel bad.
I don't know.
Nobody's got questions? Halloween? Christmas?
Anybody got anything? I think it's pretty
Do you guys
awesome
think
that
the
we've been
VIP
going for this
pass
long
holder
and they're still watching.
Somebody's asked, do you think the VIP pass holder nights will be just as good as the after hours?
That was just released today. Matters on how many VIP pass there's a lot of pass holders out there.
There's a ton.
And it matters on how many they allow. I think it's going to be a lot more popular because one you're paying $100 for and one is free. I think free things get people a lot more. Did you ever see a DVC party? They're fun. They're not very crowded, but there's a lot of people.
There's more than this. I think that's going to be more like between what we did and maybe a Christmas or Halloween party.
That's what I think. A happy medium.
Yeah, happy medium between, which won't be bad. I mean, not that the Halloween or Christmas parties aren't bad.
What I do like is they're courting the pass holders. They don't have to. In California, I don't think they do much courting of them.
I don't think so either.
They want less.
Yeah.
Here, at least, they...
I mean, they're trying. I mean, I know a lot of annual pass holders that don't feel that they do enough.
Sure.
But
someone keeps asking if you've had the s'mores French toast. I don't think you have, but
no, but you have, right?
No, I haven't.
No, we need to go in the morning because you know what? It's hot and I don't go for breakfast.
It's not on my low carb diet, but
that's one thing about locals. We usually don't go early.
Yeah.
Wait until it cools off. Okay, so Amanda wants to know about the Haunted Mansion. Is there an overlay here for A Nightmare Before Christmas? And no, there is not.
But Halloween parties, they sometimes have very weird characters. It could be Madame Renata, Carlotta.
Oh, yes.
They're awesome.
Do you remember when the Parasol Lady came out?
No, I didn't see that one.
I do have a video on the channel where the Parasol Lady was a character speaking in French about, first I was on the tightrope, and then I see the alligator's mouth, and then all of a sudden I wake up and I'm here in front of the mansion. She did a lot better than that, but it was so interesting because you can't see her unless you do that. So no overlay, but special things for the Halloween party.
Yeah, and you know what? People will actually go over to the Haunted Mansion and watch for the ghosts on the lawn, and they'll tell you a story. There's the one that tells a story about... Then we'll talk and talk. And
try to find her voice.
Something about a sandwich.
She kind of talks
like... Somebody choked on a sandwich?
I was eating my sandwich, and I started choking on my sandwich, and that's why I'm here now. And then my cousin June, she got the other sandwich.
Yeah, it's like a big... She goes on this big old
She just doesn't stop.
thing.
The story just goes
and you're
goes
just
and
like,
goes.
what? But yeah, they do that. And then last year, it was raining on media night. Do you remember? Like, it was like a monsoon that night. So the ghosts weren't out on...
I want to get the French lady's voice.
We didn't get the Headless Horseman either.
No?
Oh, yeah. I left you early that night.
Did you? I waited for the last one.
Out.
It took my shoes 2 days to dry out.
We did watch the final parade. The parade went off at like 1:30 in the morning.
God.
I'm just trying to find the Parasol lady's voice for you guys because it was so funny to me. And this was her. You could just hear her if the cellular service goes. I didn't want to shock you when it turns on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, there she is.
We are expecting rain tonight. At least I have my parasol, oui?
Can you see it at all, Scott?
I'm the most famous
I don't know.
She was great. And this is something you can't see.
The master of the mansion has brought me over here to perform for all of his parties that are quite fantastic here at the
He's no
mansion.
longer?
And you know, one day
It died.
I will from here.
Okay, yeah, they can see it. They can see it. Run away.
Anyhow, that's the reason you go to the Halloween party. Now, Christmas, there are carolers.
Yeah.
Free hot cocoa, free cookies.
And the cookies are in different.
There was
There's
other
not.
stuff last year.
Okay, so let's talk cookies for 1 second. They said that it used to be all the snickerdoodles, but now they have different cookies because you get a variety. Because it said it was supposed to be like a cookie exchange. That's what, remember? They said it the other night. Because like when you go to a cookie exchange, everybody tries different cookies. So that's why they switched that up. And if you go to Tortuga Tavern, they have snowman hot pretzels and blue raspberry slushies.
That was great last year. Yes, that was good.
And the pretzels were actually good. We went back again because the kids
where
wanted
did
the
you get the
pretzels.
Nestle's Quick? Is that over by the circus tent area back there?
There's a few
Nestle's
places that
Quick
do that.
and cookies, and then I think it was Pinocchio's house. They gave you like a little bag or like 4 or 5 cookies.
Yeah.
And the new show that lady won the award for, it started 2 years ago. So when I say it's new, could be new to you. That was the Mickey's merriest celebration.
Yeah,
The one at the castle with the cow.
Yeah.
Clarabelle
Comes out there
Cow.
like Mariah Carey.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one. And her bells con 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 con. Don't miss that show.
They put her in the silver dress. She looks like it looks like they're making fun of Mariah Carey.
They are.
That's what my kids had said the one time. They're like, if I were Mariah Carey, I'd be mad.
Do not miss that show.
Because she sang that song on Disney's Parade Day before.
Oh, it's almost like a really bad insult. Really,
Yes.
it is.
But then when Panchito and the other come in, then they
Oh,
do the Mexican Christmas.
It's a chicken out there.
It's a chicken right now. I think
Chicken.
it's a duck.
but yeah, the cow singing Mariah Carey is great. And also, what I want to mention too, they said something about there might be an extra dance party thrown in.
Yes, so not just the Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that one was Club Tinsel. I mean, but you did get to see the reindeer dancing to
That's
club
cool.
music.
That's cool.
And I tried to share that with you guys last year, and I got put in Facebook jail for like 2 days because it was like copyrighted music.
Every song they play, if it's a pop song, gets...
So
yeah.
sometimes people will ask, like, oh, you guys, why didn't you live stream that? Because I can't. Like, Facebook will...
The only thing you could do is take a real video for like 10 seconds and just show
if it's over
a
so
glimpse.
many...
Yeah.
But if
so
you load
much
it to
time.
YouTube, we can play it.
Right. But
Even
the
YouTube. Sometimes you can't even play it.
Really? I never heard
Really?
that.
Sometimes YouTube, even if you don't monetize it, can block it from everywhere. It just depends upon what the
song is.
So we do try to cover that stuff. I know a lot of people want to see what's going on as it's happening, but then there's like for the dance parties, you can't always do that.
I really wish Disney would just do their own original music, and so that we don't have to.
It makes it frustrating for people like us who want to bring you the content as it's happening.
We prefer when they sing it because when the actors sing it, it doesn't get bumped for copyright.
They've gotten a little better about it, though.
I will tell you this, and I'm not complaining. Yes, I am complaining. The Boo to You parade, the music is copyright. So when I put it on the YouTube channel, I just don't monetize it. I figure people are still going to watch it. If they like me, they'll subscribe.
Yeah.
There are people that put their own overlay music, and I think that is the most abhorrent.
What? You
Terrible.
can't
You
do that.
I mean, the Boo to You music is that whole parade almost. Just, you're not going to make $1 for that one. Just release it. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
No, and part of that, I don't know about you, but we have the Boo to You parade music stuck in our heads from like August until Christmas time.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes,
dun.
and we sing it constantly.
Yes.
We make songs up about the dog.
It's a
there.
horrible song. It's good, but it's horrible. Yeah.
But everything is Boo to You. I mean, for all that time, you can't change that.
And weirdly, Once Upon a Christmas Time at Christmas is not copyrighted. So that one
So
you can
there's
do on the
that.
parade, which I love that song.
Yes. There's just some things you can't mess with.
You can't.
But like you said before, you and I have this weird Disney thing where
I'm sure others.
and I'm sure you get it too. You don't mess with certain Disney
Yes.
stuff.
If you want to watch the Christmas parade, try to be on Main Street because when the snow happens and the soldiers come, that to me is the most magical thing ever.
See, I like to watch it once in Frontierland.
Sure,
and
yep.
once on-
Why? If you can get two.
But it's very
different
different. Even if you have to wait on Main Street, when that snow gets and the snow starts in the beginning when then it stops for a minute. They give you a breather, and then it starts up again, and it's always at the end. And when you see Santa with the snow, live mic'd, talking to you and the kids, with the soldiers, the March
So
of
good.
those, I think the March of the Wooden
That's
Soldiers.
the best part of the whole parade, the soldiers.
You
Yes.
can't. And there are people that say I like Halloween better. That scene sells me on Christmas.
It is. There's good part. You know what? Whenever people always ask or we have debates on what's better, the Halloween party or the Christmas party, I really think that there's good parts to both.
Yes, but there are diehards that say the Halloween parade is my favorite, and
Or Christmas is better.
yeah, I still gotta go with Christmas for me. Yeah.
I love them both. It's very hard when you have Disney running through your veins. It's hard to make a favorite choice.
I would be scared of someone taking a picture of me watching the Christmas parade because I think it would be one of those ugly, goofy faces because I'm in my own little.
I know.
I think it would be horrible.
You know, the night of the after hours, the media event that we had gone to, we had met one of our followers before we went in.
Was that the,
She's
yeah,
on.
I was there.
No, it was a different one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, but
More than one person noticed you?
oh, there was 3 that night. But anyway,
Actually, she's on watching.
I tease. It was Cheryl. Okay, so Cheryl.
Oh, that lady
is
that
one
we
of our
met?
followers. She had never seen, she never stayed to watch Happily Ever After. And I told her, I'm like, oh, you must. So we pushed
But she didn't tell us she
around.
has a hard time driving in the dark. Right?
Yeah, I felt bad when she said
There's
she doesn't do well driving at night, so I felt awful. But she's
Is
like,
she watching now?
I don't know if she still is.
So we know she
was.
survived the trip.
She's fine. She's fine.
She messaged me when she got home.
Yeah, he's like, can you message us when you're home?
It is worth that show.
So I told her, I said, I've seen it. We were there to cover it opening night in the media area, so we got a full view. From that night until now, I still flip and cry.
When,
is
is it the part I cry at?
What do you cry at?
The minute they do the crescendo and Tinkerbell comes out.
Oh, that gets me too.
She asked us like 5 minutes before.
She's like,
"Does Tink fly?"
Okay,
And you know what's good? They don't
Cheryl.
give it to you in the beginning, so you get disappointed because you're like, oh, they didn't do Tinkerbell.
She asked
and
me,
then
does
at the
Tinkerbell
end,
fly? And I'm like, I'm not
So-
telling you.
Good.
Erica and Robert are done with each other because.
They're fighting. We have staffers fighting.
Well,
Why?
Robert said the Christmas party's better, and Erica said you're dead to me.
The Christmas party is better. Keep that person.
Oh, Erica. Oh, my goodness.
Erica got
engaged
Erica got
at the
engaged
Halloween
at the
party.
Halloween party.
Dressed in Haunted Mansion attire.
All right. Okay,
All
so.
right. I mean, the Oogie Boogie part of the Halloween party is awesome.
Yeah. I
Erica
like
was here
how
yesterday.
delicious.
She's taking over for me next time.
What's her last name?
Erica Roberts.
Oh, I know. I
She
think I know,
is my Thursday night writer. We love you, Erica.
Who's the person that likes the Christmas party?
Robert.
Robert
He's
likes
the one
the
that said we
Christmas
can
party.
keep you after you.
Yeah.
You talked about.
Thanks, Rob.
But how about we just love them both?
I do love them both, but I like Christmas better. Okay, and we're done.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, didn't Scentsy and Disney today, I heard, team up?
Erica just said, "Panda, you're dead to me."
Erica, no! I love Halloween, I really do.
Okay, but yes, Scentsy and Disney have a contract now.
That just happened, right?
This week,
So
yeah.
we need candles from Disney with scents, right? Like they're going to sell me Haunted Mansion scent, right?
Yes.
Right?
Okay, let's make it happen.
Or
it's
what
one of
about
those
like a
people.
What
Christmas
about Pirates of the
time?
Caribbean moldy mildew water scent?
Moldy water.
That's really what it is. That's what we get, yeah.
Oh, moldy water.
But it reminds us of the ride. All right.
Okay, well, we went way over. But you know what, though? The great part of us going way over
8:45,
is that
yeah.
a lot of y'all are still watching. And, you know, Scott and I do this show every Monday night, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in because we really have a good time with it. And having Panda here, we had said that we were going to, you know, do a guest host, and we've been doing the show for a couple of months. And he and I, when we see each other, we get to see each other a lot because we cover media events together. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to do your show." I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do Monday." And we never got to do it. So then for Christmas, I'm like, "You bring your Santa hat over, and we're going to do Christmas." And that's exactly what.
And you're
we did.
always a happy face to see. So
So thank you. So I really appreciate you coming and
Thank
talking
you.
to my people and for you sharing your people with me. So thank you. We will do this again next Monday. And you can, Scott, you always do the social media stuff. That's your job, not mine.
Do you want to come and take the seat for a second?
No,
you say so.
Okay.
Scott will join us, and then Andrew, you can shut it off. But before we get to ours,
Andrew, you can shut it. Like,
no.
poor kid hasn't spoken.
Before we get to ours, tell the lovely people where they can find you.
You can find me at bigfatpanda.com. Sometimes I'm there. Sometimes it's just video of things. But that's it. That leads to everywhere. Instagram, which I don't use as often as Big Fat
I've been
Panda
tagging
Show.
you on the
I
Instagram.
do. I don't use it as much. I know.
I know, we
And
gotta work on
Twitter
that.
is Big Fat Panda Show as well.
So yes, and if you have any questions, please contact me because I can always get you in contact with my friend John. So.
And on Facebook and Instagram, you can follow us at The Main Street Mouse. On YouTube, it's The Main ST Mouse, and on Twitter at Main Street Mouse. You can also follow Cindershella4 on Instagram or myself, TMSM_Avenger on Instagram.
See, he's got that
I
down.
remember Cinderella. I remember.
Yes. So, and that is it for this week. Thank you for holding in for almost 2 hours. This was a lot of fun.
This really was.
And
I
I
can't believe we've been talking for 2 hours.
I know, right?
I'm sorry, you guys
We
haven't
haven't even
had
yet.
dinner yet. You guys
No.
jamming all night. Yeah.
So, from the bottom of
Yeah,
my
we
heart,
took it.
thank you for watching.
Yeah, that much.
Thank you for embracing our fun show and for welcoming Panda in your home.
Thank you
tonight
so
as
much.
well.
I sincerely thank you.
And we will see you next Monday. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.